By listening to News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
Would you be mad if Alex Rodriguez put a brand new Timberwolves stadium in the suburbs? Lots of stadium talk today. Why not? It's a big sports night. Got the Timberwolves, got the Wild, both with a chance. Imagine tonight, could we both close out an opponent and make it to the second round of the playoffs? It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. 651-461-9226. Would you be mad if a new stadium went to the suburbs? Do you think the suburbs would make more sense than the city? For a new Timberwolves, a new Lynx Stadium, of course, just like Target Center today, hosting concerts like Demi Lovato this weekend, it would be an entertainment hub. Now, Alex Rodriguez has said since he bought the team that they wanted a new stadium to be in downtown Minneapolis. And I will say I personally want a new stadium in downtown Minneapolis. I think that in a time where fewer people are coming downtown to work, businesses need less space downtown, it is an opportunity to inject some positivity, inject some life into downtown. And we're a really suburban community. We're not Chicago. We're not even Milwaukee, which has a huge city population. We're real suburban. And Chad had Nick Halter from Axios, who has floated the idea of having a new Timberwolves stadium at the city center site on Nicollet Mall, which would be great because there's virtually nothing in that city center office tower right now. The Dayton's project, the former Dayton's, former Marshall Fields, former Macy's, is also pretty much empty next door. So you think you could take those two properties and create something pretty cool on Nicollet Mall. But the question for you is, do you want to come downtown? Would you rather go to Brooklyn Center or Bloomington by the Mall of America or Eagan by the Vikings practice facility? 651-461-9226. City or suburbs? Where would you like it? Texters say, yes, please make it any suburban area with good parking and tailgate lots like Kansas City has. Now, I think we've seen football. NFL teams have moved out of the metro area, out of the cities. And, you know, when you only have, 10 home games a year, it sort of makes sense. I will say here are the spots that for me are a no. The farmers market site in Minneapolis, which I think every team has flirted with. The mayor, Betsy Hodges, back when Minnesota United and Bill McGuire was looking to build a soccer stadium, basically said, well, we're not going to help you in any way. And he wasn't even asking for anything other than, rerouting a couple of highway exits. No real, and St. Paul swooped in and took it. The Twins, I think, looked at that site as well. For me, the farmers market site is too far from downtown. My next no is the Graco site, which is right on the river. It's actually quite beautiful in northeast Minneapolis. But I think that would be such a good spot for housing because you're on the river. Northeast is a great spot. Like, to me, that it just makes no sense to put a stadium there when the market is going to allow that to become residential in a way that is going to be terrific. So why mess with it? I think if you're going to Minneapolis, you have to be downtown. My number one site is City Center, coupled with the Dayton's Project. My number two site is the Gay 90s, Rosenthal Theater, that whole block, kitty corner from the Loon Cafe, right on the light rail line. You're right on light rail. You're still close to the big parking ramps that serve Target Center and Target Field. And it's a part of downtown that's sort of you know? Now, it might be more difficult because you got to buy up those buildings, but there are some concentrated property owners who own a couple. I'm not Joe Real Estate here, okay? I'm not trying to crack the code. I'm just thinking about what's best for the community. Lots of ideas coming in on text. How about Eden Prairie to reverse use the light rail? I do think we could probably finish a new stadium around the same time we actually open the Southwest.
Oh, no, we finished the stadium way before that light rail is going to open. That's the only problem, is you'd have to actually have the light rail running in order to do it.
True. Dakota County Fair should be transformed into the Timberwolves Link's new headquarters. Now, you certainly could go out a ways. My hesitation with going like the Dakota County Fairgrounds or even the Vikings is that if you live in Rogers, going to Egan is like going to another universe. It's like an hour and 10 minutes. And there is some logic in being centrally located in the metro area. I think Bloomington, Mall of America, even though it's south, it's still like sort of in the hub. Brooklyn Park or Brooklyn Center, yep, like where the old Brookdale Mall is, yep, that's still sort of centralized.
The argument for moving to a suburb, which I think is a fair argument, is to say you're going to have larger areas to work with so that it's not just an arena for the Timberwolves. It's parking, it's restaurants, it's all the accoutrement around it. It's making it more of a destination area where you go and you have dinner and then you go to the basketball game and then you hang out afterwards, that kind of stuff, which can be done downtown. It's just much more difficult because of the density of the downtown area. You have a lot of those things, restaurants and other things downtown already. Right. But I think, especially for the folks that just absolutely flat out refuse to come to downtown Minneapolis, you put something like this out in a suburb, whether it's Bloomington or somewhere else, I think you're going to draw a lot of people.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, people are going to go to the games, right? Like the difference is the NBA, that the NBA and basketball tends to be, I don't know, the NBA to me always reminds me of culture. And culture is usually located in the city. But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. And it's pretty complicated today to think about, like, all right, what site is big enough? Texture from 763. It has to be downtown. A vibrant Minneapolis is necessary economically and benefits the suburbs. Conventions will not be drawn to Brooklyn Park or Eden Prairie. Another texter says St. Paul Midway area by the Loon Stadium. So the area by the Loon Stadium has zero parking. And I know the urbanists hate cars, but we need parking. We need parking. Let's break. Joe, stand by. Your call's welcome. Tons of text. 651-461-9226. City versus suburbs. Where do you want the new Timberwolves stadium? We're excited. What we mostly want tonight is a win. Drive Time with DeRusha rolling on here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
When it comes to selling your house, you have a choice to make. It's Jason here for my friend Chris Lindahl, who would love to help guide you through that choice. Here is the decision you have to think through. How much of a pain in the neck do you want to deal with? Anybody who's sold their house on the open market knows it can be exhausting. You're dealing with sudden text message from your realtor saying, you got to get out of the house. Somebody wants to see it. You've got open houses. You got to clear out the dog. You got to keep it clean constantly. Then you have to upgrade. Oh, yes. The buyer today is very finicky. Chris has a solution for you. The free smart seller guide at chrislindahl.com, because the guaranteed cash offer is making more and more sense for more and more people throughout Minnesota. The guaranteed cash offer is innovative, is easy for you. You offload all of Chris Lindahl. See if it makes sense for you. More and more people have decided, like, you know what? I didn't think this was for me, but it makes perfect sense because I just want to be done with it. ChrisLindahl.com. Get that big red check. Say yes to the guaranteed cash offer. Terms and conditions may apply. They look hot, they drive like a dream, and the value, you've got to get to Luther Kia Bloomington. It's Jason DeRusha. I just brought my Kia in for service there. It was such a great experience. My Kia's as good as new. Dan Dingman and the Luther Kia Bloomington team, just the best. From the 35 miles per gallon hybrid Kia Telluride and Sorento SUVs to the under $30,000 K5 sedan. Check out your dream car today at LutherKiaBloomington.com or stop in and tell them Jason sent you.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-642-3615. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-642-3615 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-642-3615 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-642-3615.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
We've been doing this for years. It's stupid. It is not what regular people care about. It's just like an absolute circus.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Where should the Timberwolves' new stadium go? City or suburbs? Texter says this is a Minnesota thing, not a Minneapolis thing. It should be in the suburbs. Paul in Coon Rapids, build new sports and entertainment venues in the suburbs. Build them away from the crime in the cities. Let's go to Joe in Eden Prairie. Joe, do you want a stadium in your town?
Hey, Jason, yeah, I think that Eden Prairie would be a great place. We've got a brand new light rail station out here. We don't have extra city tax on the food you buy at the restaurants, and we got lots of restaurants. There's lots of parking. It seems like all over the place, or places to build parking. So
how lost, Joe, do you think all the Minneapolis people would get trying to navigate around the sort of circular streets around Eden Prairie Center?
Yeah, well, I did tell you, I got lost plenty of times myself. But, maybe that would encourage them to take the light rail. I would, maybe a beeline right to the stadium, to the arena. And also wanted to put in a word that I always enjoy listening to your show. And my dad says anybody related to Al DeRusha must be good.
There you go. There you go. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. The idea of I will say the idea of putting it in the suburbs, like I'm entertaining it, but generally speaking, the idea of putting a Timberwolves stadium in the suburbs does make me a little bit throw up in my mouth. A little, just a little. You know, like that little bit, not too much, but you're like, because it feels like giving up. It feels like giving up. And I do think that we need more entertainment for people in the suburbs. But I also think that post-COVID, the suburbs sort of won. People are staying home more.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to commute as much for work. I do think that if you take the sports activities out of the city, then what's left? And you need this economic engine here.
Well, that's
I don't
the
think
thing.
you can just keep spreading it out all over the place.
That's the thing, you know, and you and I are both supporters of downtown Minneapolis. We want to see downtown Minneapolis do well and thrive. And, you know, a bunch of people come down here. The more people that are here, the less crime that's here. We know that works. And there are a group of people in this state who just simply will not come to downtown Minneapolis. They just won't. And there is a city council in Minneapolis that is hostile towards any business whatsoever, especially a business run by billionaires and staffed by millionaires. So, you know, if you're Alex Rodriguez and Mark Laurie and you're making a business decision, and we're getting some text too about why can't they just stay in the place that they're in?
A lot of texts about it.
Because they're businessmen and they're in this to make money, and that's one of the oldest buildings in the league that simply cannot generate the revenue that a newer building would generate. It just can't. Even if you retrofit it again, which they've already done once, it just can't do it. So that's why they're trying to find a new building. And if you're going to do
and
that,
it's inverted.
I think if you're just, you know, in terms of just straight business friendly environments, the suburbs are going to be way better than Minneapolis is going to be.
Yeah.
And I hate that for Minneapolis, but it's just the reality.
I think you have to make a 30-year decision, though, not a right now decision. And you have to wager on the fact that the pendulum of politics in the city will swing back and forth. Will it? It's up to the people. But it's a regional decision, too. Texters say downtown Minneapolis real estate values must be the lowest in a generation, saving land acquisition costs. I think that's for sure. Years ago, I heard that nearly 70% of Timberwolves season ticket holders live west of the Mississippi. This is my hesitation with going Egan or go. I don't know how much I've talked about this to you guys, but I have a theory that I can identify what sport you are a season ticket holder to by running you through my patented Jason DeRusha, what kind of rich guy are you rubric. And one of the key factors in the patented Drive Time with DeRusha, what kind of rich guy rubric is, are you a West Sider or an East?
Yeah.
If you are a West Sider, if you are Wayzata, because you go to a Timberwolves game, it is Wayzata. It is Lake Minnetonka. If you go to a Wild game, it is Woodbury, Prior Lake. It's that kind of money. Now, there are other factors.
Mm-hmm.
If you are the kid of a rich guy, you're probably a Timberwolves fan. If you are a contractor and you're rich, but you have to show your butt up to work the next morning, you're probably a Wild fan. It's not foolproof, but it's darn near foolproof.
It's a good starting point.
It's pretty good. So if you took the stadium and you put it in Egan, if I'm Alex Rodriguez looking at who my season ticket holders are, I'm probably thinking that doesn't make a ton of sense.
One other quick point in terms of downtown land acquisition. Yeah, I mean, you can get land in downtown Minneapolis for dirt cheap relative to what it would normally cost because there's so many vacancies. And how much of that gets offset by the fact that you're having to tear buildings down and do major construction in those areas that maybe you don't have to do with a plot of land out in the suburbs. There's trade-offs.
Yeah, there's all sorts of trade-offs. Jason and Dan, warms my heart to see you acknowledge that we have a city council that is hostile towards business.
We've talked about that literally dozens of times in the show.
Correct. But it's fine. I'm glad I'm warming your heart. I don't expect people to listen Actually, I do expect you to listen every day. I would prefer that. Very, very interesting. 50th in France, a texter says. Man, that area, if you had any room out there, that would make a lot of sense. I think downtown, and Alex Rodriguez wants it downtown. But can we make it happen? And the point is salient that you do need a little bit of buy-in from the city. We're going to break in just a minute. The woman who found it, this story is amazing. You probably bought Mrs. Meyer's cleaning products. Mrs. Meyer's Clean Day is the name of the company. There is a real Mrs. Meyer. There is a real story that is a fascinating story behind this product. We're going to talk to the founder and talk to the Star Tribune's director of innovation, who is bringing Mrs. Meyer's Clean Day. And she has a little news to break for us as well. That when we come back here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Let's talk about your lawn. I have an appointment tomorrow morning out in Maple Grove with my friends at ProTurf. It's Jason here for the hometown experts in taking care of all of your landscape. Now, I talk about ProTurf right now because we're thinking about preventing crabgrass. We're thinking about preventing dandelions. We're thinking about making that lawn nice and green and lush, and ProTurf will take care of it. They've been doing it for me for 2 years. Unbelievable. I'm meeting them at my house tomorrow because they're going to do a spring yard cleanup for me. I'm paying for it. Calm down. But it's worth every penny. I had them out to turn on my irrigation system, and they found 3 nozzles that were broken and leaking. And so you spend a little money, but you save water, you save money on that bill, and you feel better about it as well. ProTurf can design an incredible landscape for you as well in your backyard. Looking for a new fire pit or a paver patio? Let's go. 40 years in the Twin Cities. That means a lot to me. I bet it means a lot to you, too. You can get a free estimate at their website, professionalturf.com, or you can call them. They're in Lakeville, 952-469-8680. That is ProTurf.
I see something happening soon.
Oh, well, that's helpful.
Markets are headed up. No, down. Wait, maybe flat?
I don't know. I mean, you're the financial analyst.
In 1 mile, turn left. Recalculating. Make a U-turn.
What?
Recalculating.
I think you're in pretty good health. I don't see anything to worry about unless, something happens.
Well, what is that supposed to mean?
Nobody has a crystal ball, but when the headlines and stories keep changing, we help make sense of what's happening now and walk you through the scenarios that could be next. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples. That was easy.
Chad back here once again talking about Pella Windows and Doors, the best in the business. Over 100 years they've been around. I lived in one house with Pella Windows and Doors. Moved, and when I moved, absolutely went with the best in the business. PellaNorthland.com. They'll work with any budget, any style, and they have great warranties. How about this one? In April, 0% APR for 72 months or 20% off your Pella project today. PellaNorthland.com.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi.
Hi, Monica. This is Jason's producer. Can you hear us okay?
Ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we
Hi,
don't
Monica.
wanna
This is
be.
Dan,
If
Jason's
you're
producer.
over
Can you hear us
50,
okay?
Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away
I don't know.
thousands
We're working on
over a
something because we're not
lifetime.
hearing you.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call
You have
1-888-FREEDOM,
yourself muted at
visit
all?
consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh.
Hey, Monica, you may have to, like, there's a little microphone setting where you can select which microphone you have. So you see like the little microphone icon on the bottom left.
They're together on CCO, starting with the.
Hear me now?
Things are slow in downtown Minneapolis, 35W northbound as you come up from 42nd Street into the downtown area. Had a crash working at 35th in the left lane. That
You
just
guys hear me?
East 394
Yes, we
still
can. Can
jammed
you hear
up
us?
as midway between Park Place Boulevard and downtown.
Oh, you can hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear
Awesome.
us?
Okay.
94. Drake Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana Green here. I pray you and your family are always safe. But if there's ever a time where you need an advocate after an accident, let Mike Bryant of Bradshaw & Bryant help you. He will work with and for you in dealing with the insurance company. Call 800-770-7008 today. Bradshaw & Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Yes.
CCO forecast brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys seeking justice for the injured. Here is Chris Schaefer.
We're stuck in this cool rut. Partly cloudy, falling back to 36 tonight. Parts of the metro and the frost advisory, the freeze warning off to the east. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high around 54. Very similar pattern. Finally, starting to warm this weekend. Sunshine 64 on Saturday, even warmer on Sunday.
Right now, it is cloudy out there, 49 degrees, way below what it should be this time of year on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
I'm picking out this dress, trying on these shoes, 'cause
I will guarantee you have seen her products either in specialty stores, but most likely in those mass retailers, Target, for example. Mrs. Meyer was actually founded by a woman who started her career, I believe, as a nurse at the University of Minnesota, working at the nursing school. Monica Nassif is with us. Is that right, Monica?
That's right. You're telling stories, but they're true so far.
All right. Well, that's pretty good for me. You can never quite tell. Allie Kaplan is with us as well from the Minnesota Star Tribune, because the Star Tribune is bringing Monica to town to talk about her book.
Well, she's already in town,
Oh, she's
lucky
here.
us, but we are so excited to be doing an event next week. I have been following Monica's career for many years, and she has so many amazing, incredible stories and lessons to teach in this new book that I'm sure we'll talk about. So we're going to take it to the stage. We're doing a North Star Live event next week. Now, it is sold out. However, we will bring it to you online after the fact, so you'll be able to enjoy it even if you don't have a ticket.
Monica, you've written a book that is called I Bottled My Mother, the Mrs. Myers story. When you've had this opportunity to sort of revisit your journey where you created a couple of brands, you've had a couple of missteps, what has been most intriguing for you about sort of revisiting your own path?
You know, realizing how much my childhood affected my business career. You know, I grew up in a family of 9 kids, and my parents highly valued work. And so we had jobs at age 10. So I've done all sorts of crazy jobs, from babysitting to being a janitor, to being a truck stop waitress, to being a nurse. And so I realized I've worked my entire career, and I like working. And I realized all those early lessons working for all kinds of bosses really prepared me well for entrepreneurship.
It is interesting, right? When you think about how do we get the next generation. And I know, Allie, you and I have talked about this because our kids are sort of in the same age range. And you think about how do we inspire kids today who grew up in such a weird time, right? And maybe their parents were too like, oh, I want little special one to have enough time in their activities or whatever.
Yes.
But you raised a pretty industrious kid.
I said, get out there and do it like Monica did it. Yes. Create something, build something. I mean, that's what's so amazing about Monica's story is that I think a lot of people have ideas, but I'm always fascinated by the ones who truly go for it. And that's what Monica did.
Monica, you failed as well before you succeeded. Talk about that.
Sure. I failed many times. So when I had our marketing agency, Kilter, we thought we were geniuses and started a watch company. Because at the time, there was this huge gulf between a Swatch watch at $100 and a Rolex at $5,000. And we were doing a lot of branding work for a watch retailer. And we thought, oh, we should create a watch. Well, it was a really bad idea. We were underfunded. We were running 2 businesses at once. We shouldn't have done that. So that was a belly flop. And my second belly flop was after I sold Mrs. Meyer's, I decided, well, I'm bored out of my mind. I've always worked. And I thought, well, I'm going to start a high-end loungewear line now for older women who want something beautiful. And that too was a belly flop. I gave myself a budget for investing in the business and then an expense line, and I missed both targets. So I just shut it down. So it's humiliating. It's hard, but at the same time, you got to know when to, call it a day.
One of my favorite things about Monica's entrepreneurial story, though, is that Mrs. Meyer's was actually Monica knocking herself off. She started with Caldrea. Do you remember that brand, Jason? Higher end cleaning products. And Monica, can you explain what happened? Because this is so brilliant.
Sure. So we had the Caldrea brand that was named after my 2 daughters, Calla and Andrea, and Mrs. Meyer's was named after my mom. And at the time, we had Caldrea in about 4,000 to 5,000 stores across the U.S. And I just got this sense that someone was going to knock us off. And I thought, we have worked too hard. And I come from a highly competitive family. I thought, no one is going to knock us off. And I had a boss who always said to me, Monica, saw off the branch you're sitting on to force you to reach for the one above you. So we thought, we got to knock off Caldrea. And so we thought, if we wanted to take out Caldrea, just obliterate them from a competitive standpoint, what would we do? And that was our thinking. So we thought, okay, let's be honest and let's be real to our own values. We're Midwestern, we're hardworking, we're earnest, we love gardens. So it just was like, wait, this is my mom. So that was kind of the genesis of Mrs. Meyer's, was to really cannibalize our first business to create really what became our rocket ship of growth.
There's sort of a style of thinking that comes into play where you're always analyzing, okay, I'm building something here, but I'm also playing defense on the other side of thinking like, all right, what are the attacks that are coming at me? Do you think like your mindset there required maybe a couple of failures before, or required like the experience that you had to get up to that? Because today I think people think about protecting themselves from the knockoff. They don't think about just, I may as well just build it myself.
Oh, that's so true. I think what failure taught me with the watch company was we didn't put a sales force behind it. And when we shut that down and I lost $75,000, which you showed on that Inc. article, I vowed to myself, if I ever did another startup, I was not coming home until I had a fistful of purchase orders. I was going to stay on the road until I met my sales goal. And that was a painful lesson for me, was to have to spend money that we didn't have, quite frankly. So when it came to Mrs. Meyer's and Caldrea, that's the first thing I did, highly focus on a sales team. And that really helped us scale super fast.
Is that interesting? And Allison, you spend so much time talking with people in the startup space. And part of what I love about what you've always done is the fact that we do have this sort of underground startup scene in Minnesota. But to hear a founder say, you know what we really need to do? Build a sales force. Is that what you're hearing more? Or are people more talking about what they're creating?
Well, I mean, I think the ones who do it right are thinking about the team they need to build around them.
Yeah.
I think, the fundraising, one of the more interesting parts to me in talking with Monica is what she went through to raise money as a woman with a brand of household products. It's not that different from what we hear today. Would you say, Monica, do you think it's much better?
I wish it was. I think there's more organizations and there's more groups and there may be more funds, but it's still, when you read in that Forbes has a stat that's terrifying, and that is that women only get 2.4% of VC funds. So it really hasn't changed that much. And at the time I was raising money, I was going around to older men who looked at me like I was crazy. They're not doing dishes. And so the tech boom was really hot when I was raising money. And they were like, what are you doing raising money for dish soap? It was just so foreign to them. But I persevered. I raised the first round in 7 months and the second round in 7 days because I had a sales momentum.
How much did you have to raise to kind of get things started, Monica?
So I raised $800,000 from angel investors the first round, and the second round was the same. And that was really to fund inventory and marketing and a team so I could get up and running.
Monica Nassif is with us, along with Allison Kaplan for the Star Tribune. Monica founded Caldrea and Mrs. Myers, her book. Mother's Day coming up. This is a pretty good Mother's Day gift, I would say. It's called I Bottled My Mother, the Mrs. Myers story. Grime and growing in business, great grime and growing in business. Is there a mistake that you made during the Mrs. Myers era, Monica, that you look back and think like, man, I wish I hadn't done this?
Well, yeah, we went into Target prematurely. So at the time we set up our sales force for Mrs. Myers, we started going after all the Whole Foods stores and all the high-end stores on both coasts. We had a really difficult time gaining distribution in the Midwest. It was frankly our last area that we got stores involved. And so I knew Target. I used to do a lot of work for them. That's where I started my career. So I went into Target. They gave us a 250 store test, and the stores were scattered all over the country. I couldn't gain any critical mass with other grocery stores we were in. And then I could see the sales, and you can see what you're selling per unit off the shelf. And so I decided to kick ourselves out. I thought the buyer knows what's going down. We're not selling anything. It's because we were quite unknown. So then what I did is I went into the buyer and said, hey, we need to kick ourselves out and we need to get our act together. We need to be in more stores so we have greater brand visibility. So that was a mistake. I went in there early to Target. And then about 2 years later, I would go in, during those 2 years and kind of inform Target, hey, here's the progress we're making. Here's how we're doing. I never asked for the order. I just thought we got work to do. And I thought when we're ready, I really want to go back to Target. I want to go back in a big way. And that happened.
It's so smart. And I think we hear this all the time that, everybody thinks, oh, you're in Target. You've got it made. You're going to be a multimillionaire. And it's really hard. You have to be ready. You have to spend the money to make the money. And you've really got to be ready. Monica's story, I think, is so smart. And lots of entrepreneurs can take a lesson from her.
It's called North Star Live. That's the event that Allie has put on with the Minnesota Star Tribune May 7th. Sold out, but there will be all sorts of content at startribune.com. And go buy the book. You can get it at Amazon. It's at simonandschuster.com. It's all over the place. It's called I Bottled My Mother. And now I love your products. We've been buying Caldrea since the early days and Mrs. Myers since the early days as well. And you identified that there were consumers like my wife and I who were concerned about what we were putting in our kids, putting in our body, and concerned about what we were using in our house. Pretty brilliant at a fairly early time as well, Monica.
Thank you, Jason.
Really fun talking to you. Allie, thank you. And your next guest is going to be?
We are going to do an event with Nate Berkus, another hometown talent, homegrown talent. He is coming back for an event with us on June 2nd at the Minneapolis Institute of Art. We're going to talk design and business and building your brand.
He's a great guy, so that'll be good stuff. Allie, thank you. Monica, thank you. 3:47 drive time back in just a minute with a conversation about what state you would never consider moving to.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
All right, Jason here with I don't want to say urgent, but a potentially urgent message about your skin. My dermatologist, Dr. Mohiba Tareen, is unbelievable. And today they just announced they're opening 2 new clinics in Western Wisconsin. And why is Tareen Dermatology growing so quickly? It's because there aren't enough dermatologists. There just aren't. Have you ever had to wait? You got something wrong? You've got a mark, or I had a thing on my head that was sort of, you're like, what is going on here? In Lakeville, before Tareen Dermatology opened, the average wait to get into a dermatologist was 4 or 5 months. Now you can get into Tareen in 3 weeks. It's awesome. So if you have something you're worried about urgently, get in there. Get to the website. Don't be afraid. Don't buy it if somebody tells you, yeah, you got to wait 6 months. No. TareenDermatology.com. Now, I mentioned the skin because my dad had all sorts of skin cancer, lots of them removed. Always caught early enough so it wasn't a major issue. And so every year I get a full body skin checkup just to make sure that everything is all right. You should consider that too if you have a family history. Get to the website. You can book your appointment at all of their, 10 locations, and now 2 more coming online. Tareen, Tareen, dermatology.com.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber with a special message for any local business owner looking to diversify your income. Amazon Hub Delivery is making it easy to earn extra money. When you partner with Amazon Hub Delivery, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area. With each package delivered, you'll gain extra income and exposure for your business. There's no upfront cost, no delivery experience, and no long-term contracts required. Get started today at Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB delivery.
You don't want to wait forever for your home to sell. Marketing makes a big difference, and nobody markets homes better than my friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. Hey, it's Benita. My buddy John markets homes to everyone in the Twin Cities, and it helps his clients sell faster and for more money. Curious what he could sell your home for? Find out in seconds on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
I'm here with Alex Sherrod, a top mergers and acquisitions attorney with Helmuth & Johnson. Alec, Minnesota laws can be complex. How do you make sure you're on the right path?
At Helmuth & Johnson, we help businesses and individuals navigate Minnesota's laws with clarity and confidence. We understand how Minnesota's laws and courts work, and we guide you every step of the way.
So it's not just knowing the law, it's knowing Minnesota.
Exactly. Practical advice, local experience, real solutions.
If you're looking to buy or sell a business, go to hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Got a crash working for Highway 10 westbound near County Road 96 off to the right side. Get ready for your slowdowns as you move past the scene, heading up 235W. 10 westbound jammed up also as you make it between 35W, heading up toward Egret Boulevard. If you're going to be traveling 90 for westbound, some slowing and move between area of Hemlock Lane and Weaver Lake Road. Save on organics at Whole Foods Market. Get a 16-ounce container of organic strawberries for $4.79 each with Prime through May 5th. They're the perfect topping for pancakes, yogurt bowls, and more. While supplies last, shop in store online. Terms apply. Jerry Peterson, News Talk ATO, WCCO.
We got a show and it's guys and dolls at Chan Has and Dinner Theaters, and it's a knockout. The Pioneer Press called it a must-see. Star Tribune called it blazing with brilliance. You got gamblers, romance, and show-stopping tunes. Guys and dolls, visit ChanHasandDP.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Guys and dolls on stage right now at ChanHassenDT.com. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 36, although I was just looking at the live radar, and there is some rain out there, and just to the west of Wilmer and Olivia. So be aware of that. I don't know if that's coming here or not, but it is cloudy, that's for sure. Tomorrow, 54. Saturday, 64. Mostly sunny. 64 is right about the average. 52 right now on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
Nothing. It just turns into nothing so quickly.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Lots of nice texts about our interview with Monica Nassif from Mrs. Meyer's. If you missed it, you can check it out on YouTube, where we have clips of a lot of our guests. She joined us by video. And Joe, who was watching the interview, said Monica needs to add Jenga shelves with books, because that's what she had in the background of the shot. So pretty good. Where would you never live? What state would you never live in? 651-461-9226. I was thinking about this today because Dan sent me this story from a TV station in Orlando. Headline: Alligator mating season kicks off in Florida. It could prove deadly. Mating season is underway. Now, alligators got to mate. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to say I'm not in favor of alligator, asexuality. In fact, maybe we all could learn a thing or two from the alligators and try to see if we could help the birth rate in America. We don't have enough kids. We need more of that alligator spirit. Just get out there and just get after it, you know? But if your mating ritual could prove deadly to others, I'm not certain that's an area I want to live.
Now, this jumped out at me because, I get it. Look, Florida, stuff that's normal in Florida is not normal in Minnesota and vice versa. Mm-hmm. But when you hear a clip like this.
During mating season, a lot of the younger male alligators are getting pushed out of their homes by the big males. The big males want all the females, just like any big tough guy at a bar.
Wait, what? What?
Is that right? Is that how this works?
I mean, I understand if you're trying to reach for a metaphor, but that seems
so
fraught with peril.
The thesis there is if you're a tough guy at a bar,
you get all the gals and all those weak, skinny runts around there that are trying to get in your way.
Nobody wants a soy boy. Nobody wants a beta. Is that, can I not
no,
say
don't
that?
say that other word. Don't say the other word, please.
Every time we go to Florida, I always love it. Florida, great place to visit.
That's what I've said about Florida. I love visiting Florida. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'd want to live there.
Andrew says this is not true at the bars he goes to, but
clearly he's going to the wrong bars. Got to go to the Gator Bar. I actually used to work at a place, I don't even know if it's still there in Maple Grove, called Alligators. It was
I remember Alligators.
Combo bowling alley / nightclub.
Yeah, it's gone.
That's
gone. I think it's a daycare center now.
Oh, that tracks.
Texters say Florida, too flat, too hot, too many people. My main Florida issue, I would move to Miami. I would be so poor in Miami now.
Yeah, you would.
The Florida issue for me is like it's too narrow, and so you just get traffic is just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Mississippi, Louisiana, South Dakota. Now, what about this foursome here? Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida, and South Dakota, says a texter. What an unusual combo of 4 states where you're like, hell no. Another texter adds Texas, lots of Florida. Paul says never moved to Texas, Maine, or Illinois, specifically Chicago. Another texter, I wouldn't live in a red state. The hottest trend right now is people moving they're moving to blue cities in red states. That's the hottest thing going.
I get it, and it boggles my brain that we're now deciding where we're going to live based on politics.
I know. I think people say it more than do it.
That's probably true.
Most of us live like near where we were born. Continental Diamond time check. Right now, it's 3:58.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples, that was easy.
News Talk 830 WCCO, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump says he has signed an executive order to expand access to retirement savings accounts for millions of Americans. He says starting next year, Americans will be able to go to TrumpIRA.gov and open a low-cost IRA account.
The House voted to fund much of
a 25-year-old who is eligible for a Savers Match program. Invest just $165 a month under the matching federal contributions. They will have an estimated $465,000 in their account by the time they're 65 years old. In other words, they'll be rich.
Headed to President Trump is a bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security, bringing to an end a record-long partial government shutdown that led to long lines at airports. CBS's Allison Keyes with more.
The House voted to fund much of the DHS, but not its immigration enforcement operations. The measure will fund key agencies, including the TSA and FEMA, through the end of the fiscal year, September 30th. But ICE and Border Patrol are excluded from the deal.
Spotify is introducing verified artist badges to help distinguish between real human artists and AI on its platform. CBS News tech contributor Ian Schur explains.
Over the past year, AI artists, as they're increasingly called, have become rather popular on streaming sites, including now a number of songs that have become chart toppers across categories. As these AI artists have taken off, the key question has been, how do we make sure that people know what they're listening to? And that is where Spotify seems to be stepping in.
CBS's Jim Krasula reports on a legal challenge to what's considered the strictest law of its kind in the nation.
6 transgender Idaho residents are suing the state over its new bathroom ban, set to become law in July. It penalizes people for using bathrooms that don't match their sex assigned at birth, even in private businesses. Violators face jail or prison time.
Congress extends a key U.S. surveillance program through June 12th as lawmakers work toward a long-term deal. The voyage home has been authorized for an American aircraft carrier after an unusually long time at sea. Details from CBS News military consultant Jeff McCausland.
The Ford and his crew have been involved not only in the ongoing war with Iran, but also an extended patrol in the Mediterranean, following a return to the Caribbean to conduct interdiction operations against alleged drug boats from Venezuela and the subsequent operation to remove Nicolas Maduro.
The first direct U.S.-Venezuela commercial flight in 7 years lands in Caracas. The flight was operated by Envoy Air, a subsidiary of American Airlines. This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world. I'm Tony. There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers. How are you? I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening News.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly cloudy, 51 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. A rally outside Hennepin Healthcare demanding permanent funding for the hospital.
HCMC registered nurse Jeremy Olson-Elhurst says recent federal budget cuts have already made a major impact at the hospital.
Minnesota leaders need to step up to keep HCMC open and running. Financial instability and recent cuts have already caused staff losses and service disruption.
While the Minnesota Senate approved a temporary $150 million stabilization grant to keep the facility operational through summer, organizers emphasize that the fight now shifts to securing a plan for permanent long-term funding. In downtown Minneapolis, I'm Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Meanwhile, the Minnesota Senate Tax Committee passed a bill that would repurpose an expiring Hennepin County sales tax that originally funded the Minnesota Twin Stadium to help subsidize local health care systems like HCMC. But Republican leaders are not on board with that. Senate Minority Leader Mark Johnson.
We're going to be trying to modify it, try to figure out working with the House on ways to make that bill better. But I'm really concerned it's just a one-time payment and it's not going to fix the problem.
Groundbreaking today for downtown St. Paul's latest sign of a comeback, a new Aldi grocery store. It's taking the place of the old Lunds and Byerly space, which closed last year due to staffing issues and pandemic-related struggles as more downtown employees shifted to remote work. Aldi follows the recent acquisitions of some vacant buildings as city leaders work to bring back downtown's vibrancy. President of the St. Paul Downtown Alliance, Joe Spencer, says while plenty of challenges remain, things are moving in the right direction.
Big real estate projects are slow moving, and so it's not going to be necessarily that people will feel the difference, by June 1st necessarily. But I think here in the coming months, you're going to see this transformation start to unfold.
Aldi is expected to open by the end of summer on 10th Street East near downtown St. Paul's Pedro Park. Minnesota Wild GM Bill Guerin says it'll be all business on the ice tonight as they try to finish off the Dallas Stars in round one of the playoffs.
We just need to be at our best tonight because, their backs are against the wall and in this league, the players are extremely good and they're going to be at their best. So we got to be ready.
Guerin talking with WCCO's Chad Hartman. If the Wild win, they will move on to face the Colorado Avalanche in the second round of the playoffs this weekend, which would be the first time that has happened since 2015. And across town, 2 hours later, the Timberwolves will try to close out Denver tonight with a win over the Nuggets. Head coach Chris Finch.
Well, there's no doubt that, we miss Dante and Ant and all the things they do offensively and defensively. But, we played a large part of game 4 without those guys, and so.
Crossing our fingers for both teams, and we'll have to see what the in-office rate looks like tomorrow in Twin Cities.
Those late starts
yes.
are brutal. I mean, we're lucky that the Wild are starting at a reasonable time.
Yeah.
But so you could enjoy the Wild game or the Twins game.
Yeah,
and then,
Twins, Wild, and Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Bing,
and then
bing,
8:30 for the Timberwolves.
Yes.
But probably 8:45 or 8:50.
Yeah.
None of them have been starting at that. It's too late.
It is late, but it's an exciting time.
It is, but it's only round 1, Laura. I mean, the playoffs have a long way to go, right?
Yes.
But these stupid TV networks are so desperate for money. They do not care about the fans or growing the game. They just want the giant ratings. And I would think you get better ratings if the game started at 8. How many of us at 10:30 are gotta go to bed?
Yeah. Or 9 o'clock for me. No, but really, I was talking to Henry Lake yesterday about some of this, and he thinks that there will be some people who try to go to both the Wild game and cross town
And
and
cross
hit
town?
part of the Timberwolves.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be exciting?
Man, is there that much overlap? I don't
Probably
know.
not, but
I
it
don't
would
know.
be
We'll
fun
talk
to
about that
try.
at 5 o'clock. I do want people to weigh in, like if you had to pick, which one
Yeah.
do you pick?
Yeah, cool. All right. It's 4:07 on WCCO.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Linda's Construction, lindasconstruction.com. 35E northbound slows as you come up from Wagon Wheel into downtown St. Paul. East 94 slows as you make way between Riverside and 280, and then again as you move between Lexington and Highway 52. East 36 jammed up as you move between Cleveland Avenue and Lexington. Get ready for the season ahead with clog-free Leaf Guard brand gutters now with free installation labor this April. Go to lindasconstruction.com. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And with that, here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Another chilly night tonight as we fall back to 36. There are frost advisories for parts of the metro. The freeze warning across the river in western Wisconsin where temps could fall below 32. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high around 54. Nice temperature jump on Saturday, highs in the mid-60s with plenty of sunshine.
Mostly cloudy right now, 51 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Not just something to listen to, it's how you stay plugged into what's happening in the world. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Speeding has never been more of an issue on our roads. You guys are driving home right now. You're probably dealing with it. It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time. Do you think chronic speeders should be required by law to have a limiter put on their car? 651-461-9226. I sure think they should. And frankly, driving to work this morning, well, let's not lie. When did I drive to work, Dan Cook? Certainly not this morning.
Well, I mean, you could have been doing work-related stuff this morning,
True,
which
yes,
necessitated
yes,
you
right.
driving around.
It was around 1:30, and you would have thought we're in the middle of an F1 race going on 94 from St. Paul to Minneapolis. I just have never seen so many reckless drivers on the road, and speed is a big part of it. State of New York is considering requiring drivers who are characterized as chronic speeders. They say it's less than 1% of their drivers. If you are caught, they use speed cameras. We don't. I wish we did. Driver must be caught on camera speeding 16 times a year. If we had speed cameras, how many of you do you think would be busted as chronic speeders? I think it's time we use technology to make our roads safer. I think we've sort of taken a pass on doing anything serious when it comes to people in their phones while they're driving. I think there's no doubt that the phone manufacturers, the car manufacturers could team up and figure out some sort of handshake where they could require it. When you get in your car, you got to do a handshake with your car, your phone. That disables it. I think that's very smart. I think the idea of putting a limiter on your car is a no-brainer. And in fact, there's technology that would allow you to have a smart speed limiter. So you could even set it up where, like, all right, we're not going to limit you all the time, but we're going to put a governor on your car that would kick in the cities or in this chunk of highway. I don't know. I think the reality is it is so dangerous out there. 651-461-9226. Do you think we should stick some technology on the car? Now, I don't think 16 times a year. We don't have those speed cameras. But I think if you get convicted of going more than 20 miles an hour over the limit, twice in a year, you should have a limiter on there. Paul exists, and Paul texts in and says yes. Speeders should have a governor on their vehicles. Another texter says, before I put some kind of mechanism on speeders' cars, I would want to do something about the people who always go through stop signs, especially through red lights. They're more dangerous. I don't know. While I was driving today, so I'm just going down Interstate 94. I like to use the cruise control because my car drives fast. Also, I mean, I guess I'm driving it. I like to drive fast, and so to protect myself from myself, I put on the cruise control. Now, the other question I was thinking about today, Dan, is why do we even allow cars to go more than 100 miles an hour? Why? You could limit that.
America, that's why. It was going to tell me I can't go 100 miles an hour when I want to go 100 miles an hour.
I think
there's a long history of odd masculinity tied up in how fast your car can go. And yeah, I think you're going to make no headway at all trying to actually limit overall the speed of cars. Now, people that, break the law regularly,
then it's a consequence.
Then it's a consequence.
Yeah.
What I'd be really curious to know is if that law passed, if you knew that was a consequence out there of repeated speeding, would that be any kind of deterrent to you at all? Would people actually slow down? Like we've seen speed cameras in areas of Minneapolis have reduced the number of people speeding through certain intersections. Data shows it. So is just the knowledge that these things are a possibility, is that enough to get some people to slow down? I don't know. I sort of doubt it, but I'm curious.
Last session in the House, there actually was a bill introduced here in Minnesota that would force speeders to slow down. We've expanded those ignition interlock systems for chronic drunk drivers. And it allows people to get back on the road if they pass a breathalyzer test every time, which I think is a great idea. But then DFLer from St. Louis Spark said, well, what if we had a similar program for habitual speeders? You'd have to decide, how are you going to create that line? I think if you ever get convicted of going over 100 miles an hour, ding.
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable.
I think if you're over 20 miles over the speed limit twice in a year, ding. I think if you get 5 speeding tickets over 10, you clearly need some heavier hammer to get you to change. I got 1 speeding ticket where I was going 12 miles over the limit because the speed limit changed and I didn't realize it changed.
Ruh-roh.
It was on the highway, but I thought I was safely going 2 miles over the limit. But did that change the way I drove for the next year? Yes.
For the next year.
Well, Dan, we're making baby steps.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, is that enough?
Yes.
To get people to
fully change their behavior? No, we're selfish jackasses, Dan. No. We think if we drive 20 over, it's going to get us to that meeting just a little faster.
And that's the thing, the interlock devices are great. Has it slowed down drunk driving? The data wouldn't seem to indicate that it has at all.
But if you keep the chronic drunk from driving drunk, think you're being
I think that's probably worth it. And so would these devices do that? I would hope so. I would hope so. Because there's no doubt.
The ticket's not doing
Again,
it.
if you want to talk data, there's zero doubt that the number one factor in nearly every fatal crash that there is speed. Is somebody going too fast, either too fast for the conditions or just flat out too fast. So if it may seem like this is a quaint thing, because we're so used to the speed traps and all the things, on the freeways and stuff,
right?
That this is a quaint thing to try and nab people for. But I mean, this is a major, major factor in fatal crashes in Minnesota and everywhere.
In 2025, when you look at fatalities, 102 Minnesotans died and speed was a contributing factor. Alcohol is a little worse, 115. So those are your major issues. Now that's fatalities. So think about the number of crashes. I'm just saying, as people were zooming around me, some guy today was in the left lane, speeding up, cuts right in front of me all the way over the right lane. And you sit there and you're like, if I reacted to that, I would have caused a major crash. And so you're sort of like, how do I keep things? I don't know. Something has to be done. Let's talk to Jeff in Sauk Rapids, 651-461-9226. What do you think about this idea, Jeff?
Jason, I wish it was Wednesday because I have had enough of everybody thinking technology is going to solve our problem. It won't. Hire more cops.
Yeah.
Put them out there. And if you have to, offer a bounty for the fastest speeder you can find.
I do agree that more cops, because that's what changed behavior about drunk driving. The reason drunk driving has dropped so much in Minnesota and in America is because people were afraid they were going to get caught. It's not because they wanted to do the right thing. It's because they were afraid they were going to get caught.
Exactly. I drive all over the place all week long. And I can't remember the last time I saw a cop hiding behind a bridge overpass or behind a bush.
Yeah.
It's a good
Come on,
point.
get back to the old school. Get the cops out there and bag them.
It's a good point. Jeff, thank you. Is Jeff right? 651-461-9226. Drive time back in just a minute.
Drive time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
What are you going to wear to that special wedding, to that special graduation, to that special night on the town? It's Jason with an answer to your questions, and the answer is at the Galleria in Edina. It is J.H. and Sons. The Halberstadt family has been dressing Minnesotans for more than 50 years. They are the best. They started in St. Cloud, and today Jeff Halberstadt and his sons are running the most beautiful men's clothing stores all over the Midwest, including at the Galleria in Edina. It's going to be a big week for me in J.H. and Sons next week because I have a fundraiser that I'm hosting. They're outfitting me with a new bow tie. It's Wine Fest. It's a wine-colored bow tie. But J.H. and Sons isn't just for your special events or your graduations, although that's where they soar. They got you covered when it comes just to maybe a vacation wear or a night on the town. Go visit the store. You're going to experience different fabrics, different designs, but the fashion is just the beginning. It's the people that will have you coming back time and time again. Go say hi to Kevin and Chuck and Bryce and Dean. Log on their website to sign up for their email list. You'll be the first to know about special events and sales at jhandsons.com.
Hey, Jordana, I'm Brian. I'm 58 and single. I have a house, a bunch of investments. Now, I have a sister I'm close to, but no kids or anything tying me down, so I never really worried about planning for the future. Recently, a friend of mine passed away unexpectedly without a will or a trust, and it created a huge mess for the family he left behind. I don't want to be a burden on my sister. I want to be prepared. So why should I choose Gutman Law?
Hi, Brian. Your instincts are correct. If you were to do nothing, the state would decide who's in charge and how to distribute your assets, which is probably not what you want. And your sister will have a lot to sort out by herself. Now, this is the reason why I chose Gutman Law. My family, Matt and Jamie, were so sensitive to the nuances of my situation after a divorce. An estate plan is more than just names and numbers on a piece of paper. It's family. Making it easy on them is what matters most. From healthcare directives to wills to living trusts, Gutman Law can help you determine what type of planning makes sense to protect you and your loved ones. 612-895-1616 or go to mnestatelaw.com. Gutman Law, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Easy Cater, the best way to order great food from favorite restaurants for all your festivities. From April 27th through May 5th, every order placed earns you 1,000 bonus rewards points. From traditional favorites like enchiladas and mole to festive options like a build-your-own taco bar, even breakfast. Chilaquiles, anyone? Easy Cater makes food for Cinco de Mayo a cinch. Order now at easycater.com and get 1,000 bonus points on every order with promo code Cinco de Mayo 26. Restrictions apply. See offer details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Gas prices are up, and Luther Kia of Bloomington can help you out. It's Jason from my Luther Kia of Bloomington team. I drive the Kia. I love it. Dan Dingman can guide you into a hybrid SUV getting more than 35 miles per gallon, or take a look at the plug-in and electric options. If you need the power of gas, I just test drove a Telluride third row, high-tech, affordable luxury. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com to see what's on the lot, or stop in at 35W and 494 and tell them Jason sent you.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
We're talking about technology and putting a limiter. Truck drivers know it as a governor. You see it on the highway, a truck driver trying to get around. You're like, why is this guy going so slow? Well, it's called the speed limit, and their company maybe has a governor on there. 651-461-9226. A former law enforcement officer texts in and says, there are times where I wish someone would see what happens to a body in a fatal crash just because they were speeding or too fast for the condition. That's the reality of speeding, right? The reason to not speed is not that you're necessarily going to cause an accident because you're speeding. The reason is to give you a fighting chance if you're in an accident. Because if you're going fast, you're going fast. Rick is at Elk River at 651-461-9226. What do you think about this idea, Rick? A consequence for people who are those sort of chronic offenders.
Oh, you know, I think it comes down to insurance. I've gotten caught speeding and doing stuff before, and it's your insurance rate that causes you to. It's about money, you know. And if it affects your insurance, I think that's what's going to slow people down as well. But I'm originally from North Dakota, and we had a town in North Dakota called Thompson, North Dakota. And this is over 40 years ago. If you went through that town and it's 25 miles an hour and you went 26 or 27, he stopped you. I went back to visit my folks, you know, not long ago. And I found myself almost going 27, and he's been retired a long time ago. But I drive 25 through that town, and everybody in a 100-mile radius knew and said, if you're going through Thompson, please drive 25. So that guy made
that work. Yeah, I mean that does.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty interesting. Very good, thanks, Rick. I mean that does go to what Jeff was talking about, where the real solution is cops. Texter agrees, saying there's nothing you can put in my car that my son can't take out with his laptop. Jeff is right. We need more cops. Another texter says limit cars to 85 and get rid of the headlights switch. So if car is running, the headlights and taillights are on. I think that's a good point. Another texter says, rumor has it when you purchase a Ram truck, they make you sign a document agreeing to tailgate every car on the road. Now, what car is the most likely to be speeding? What do you think? Is it, I think the pickup truck gets the bad rap. I used to, years ago, Dan, I would have said like the luxury car. It's your Mercedes, it's your Beamer. Today, is it the pickup truck?
I saw, a big jacked up pickup truck with the wheels that were wider than the base and actually had a business logo and website listed on it on 394 today. That was bobbing and weaving and Mario and dreading its way down 394. So you're on to something there. I still, every time you see, one of those Dodge Chargers or the big muscle cars, they're not generally, obeying the speed limit.
Why do you hate Americans who just like a big old pickup truck, Dan?
I wouldn't if they, do the speed limit and not tailgate and do all the things this clown was doing.
I didn't know you just, that's classic city boy kind of attitude there.
We should all be on bikes, Jason, and taking the bus. Then we wouldn't speed.
Yeah. Texter retired from the Wisconsin State Patrol. If I had a driver at 90 or higher, they got 2 pieces of paper, one for speeding and the other for reckless driving. When they would whine about it, I would tell them to call an attorney. Yeah. Texter says, I can't do several things with my in-car display while I'm driving, and it's a 2015. Surely mobile phones could be blocked. Now, a speeder says the dangerous drivers are the slow-moving 55-mile-an-hour cars in the left lane that ignore their surroundings.
Those are also dangerous drivers. It's not an either or.
No, it's just the slow one. If I'm speeding. Another texter says, life is dangerous, Jason. I guess. Yeah. Yes, it is. 428. Let's break. Drive time coming back in just a minute. DeRusha Eats. A couple things on the docket for us today, including something the Minnesota Twins are doing to sort of extend a lifeline to local restaurants. I just learned about this today and was like, this is so cool. The Twins haven't even been bragging about it. They've just been doing about it. Doing it and doing about it. I don't know, man. Like, eat a burger and we'll talk about it. And DeRusha Eats in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Dependable in extreme conditions. Field tested across the state since 1924. One resource has helped Minnesotans navigate it all. News Talk 830 WCCO.
My parents talk about how CCO got them through the tornadoes of 65, and they certainly helped me in the blizzard of 91.
Reliable in temperatures both above and below zero.
CCO has been part of my morning routine longer than my coffee maker, and that thing never quits.
Battery life? Over 100 years and counting.
These guys help me emotionally prepare for another Minnesota sports season. That's survival.
All-weather performance, Midwest tough, no assembly required. Minnesota's unofficial survival guide. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my 3rd order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old.
And those Sleep Night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those Sleep Night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those Sleep Night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
David Linsky of L3 Family Wealth Partners. You know, people spend a year planning their big vacation. Take the same care when it comes to your retirement plan.
Listen to the Retirement Reality Report, Saturday at 11 on WCCO.
Chad back here with you. I want to talk about trust and peace of mind. We all need it, in particular in some areas, including your insurance. Maybe it's for your business. Or maybe it's more traditional with your house and your car. For me, I have trusted Amber Scholl and Associates with American Family for, what are you guessing, 5 years, 10 years? No. My entire family, whether it's my father or my kids, with American Family, with Amber in particular, for 30 years. We dread something bad happening with our house, with a car accident, but we need people with expertise, with professionalism and availability, and that's what Amber and her team are all about. Reach out to them today. It's worth it. Trust me. 651-738-4811.
You came for weight loss, but what you really wanted was to feel like you again. At Livia, it's not just about the scale. It's about energy, balance, clarity, and confidence. Visit Livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA to get started today.
It's true. Taking a cash offer for your home is the easiest way to sell it, let's face it. But why would you want to leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table? When you hire the John Schuster Group Coldwell Banker Realty, you can still sell your home fast without sacrificing any money. Sandy just worked with the Good Neighbor agent. She was moving out of state. She called John for a cash offer. He told her he'd be happy to make her one, but that he could sell her home for way more on the open market. The Schuster Group's marketing system reaches thousands of potential home buyers every day. It only took John 3 days to find her a buyer willing to pay $10,000 over asking price. That's tens of thousands more than she'd have gotten with a cash offer. John's marketing system made a huge difference. You can learn what your home is worth in seconds on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Join Ducks Unlimited for the 51st Annual Stillwater Area Dinner Banquet, an evening of great food, community, and conservation. Thursday, May 7th at 5:30 p.m. at the St. Croix Event Center in Stillwater. Get your tickets today. Register now at mndu.org.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Got some heavy traffic in place for I-94 moving slowly both directions between 280 and the Lowry Hill Tunnel. Eastbound 394 slows into Minneapolis as you come in from Park Place Boulevard. North 169, man, that's a slow ride. And midway toward the crosstown, heading up toward Rockford Road. 494 northbound slows from Rockford Road, heading up into the Fish Lake interchange. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
For the best windows in the business that are made to order just for you, an array of styles, features that will fit your project and budget. Only one way to go. My friends with Pella Windows and Doors, PellaNorthland.com. Tell me, heard this from Chad.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Pella Windows Northland. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We're stuck in this cool rut. Partly cloudy, falling back to 36 tonight. Parts of the metro in the frost advisory, the freeze warning off to the east. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high around 54. Very similar pattern. Finally, starting to warm this weekend. Sunshine 64 on Saturday, even warmer on Sunday.
St. Paul, you're looking at 49. 49 on News Talk 830 WCCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
That's my favorite thing to do.
It is one of my 2 or 3 favorite things to do, whether it's in the office, it's in town.
It doesn't matter. There's nothing better.
On News Talk 830 WCCO. DeRusha, he has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like your favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard. Drive Time now transitions into DeRusha Eats.
DeRusha Eats brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board. Today we're talking about an innovative effort by the Minnesota Twins to support our local restaurants. Is something that's more important now than it has been maybe in the 15 or 20 years that I've been talking about restaurants in Minnesota. My friend Stephanie March has been covering the scene even longer. She's with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Steph, it's good to visit with you.
Oh, thanks for having me on, friend. This is a good talk.
So I was reading your Salt Cure newsletter that came out today, and you talked about this amazing effort that you guys and the Salt Cure Restaurant Relief Fund, we're going to talk about that as well, but tell me kind of how this all came together and what the Twins are doing.
Oh, it's so exciting. We had a great conversation with Dave St. Peter of the Twins and Archie Ryback, who is, part of the Minneapolis Foundation, who we're partnered with. We all kind of came together on a call, and they said, hey, how can we help local restaurants? We know everyone's in a tough pinch, and we want to kind of do something. And so we're kind of brainstorming about figuring out what to do. And, obviously raising funds for the Salt Cure Fund is really important, but so is just getting the name of restaurants out there and reminding people of great places to go. And we came up with the idea that that the Twins players, they have this big, they have to be fed before the game. And so what if we supplied the food from local restaurants who were struggling or who could use a catering gig that maybe they don't normally think of? So they're like, can we partner with you to help pull people who can sort of feed the Twins before the game, and then, then get some support through mentions during the game and up on the, the old big screen. and just some support from the Twins community as well. So it's been pretty cool.
The first Tuesday, they got a spread from the Gray's Food Hall in North Loop.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool, especially because a lot of those players and their girlfriends live in that neighborhood, too.
Yeah, and I thought that was like, the idea, too, of it's like supporting the neighborhood that you're in, and then having that go up on the Jumbotron, and sort of the idea that reminding people that if, maybe you're going to leave the game early and you want to go do something else, or if maybe you're going to come before the game, you can meet people. That Gray's in North Loop is right down the block. It's walking distance. And so, or maybe if you're not going to, like next time you aren't going to be able to watch the game in the ballpark, but you want to stop by quick, somewhere you can go and watch and get a good burger or get, a burrito, whatever you want. There's so much good stuff there.
And then was this your idea to connect them this week with Rainbow, which is such a great restaurant that has been doing such terrific work for so long, but Rainbow Chinese on Eat Street?
I know. I really thought that a Tammy Wong egg roll was going to, make the game, actually, quite honestly.
Did they win Tuesday? They might have. I think Tuesday might have been a win.
I think I'm just going to cross my fingers and I'm just going to
just say yes. Yeah, why not?
Say yes, it was. But, that was such a bonus to get, to get Tammy Wong and her team. And they were so excited to have that gig. And they'd never done that. They'd never brought food to Target Field before for the Twins players. So it was kind of great. And we're actually, with the Silk here, we're going to do some storytelling around that. We have this going on for a couple of more home stands on Tuesday games with the Twins. So we're going to get a little camera crew and we're going to do a little bit fun storytelling about making the food and then delivering it to the Twins players coming up.
Oh, it's really fun. It's a great way of just highlighting these restaurants. And as you and I both know, but I don't know how much our listeners know, we have some distance from the immigration surge in the Twin Cities. Are restaurants still, what are restaurants telling you? Are they still dealing with the effects of this?
Yeah. And I mean, I think we have to think of it as like the hole that was dug by January and February and then March. And so as we're sitting here in April and we're knowing that we got through April, which was a pretty steep climb for a lot of people, but there was, whole people who have rent that didn't get paid. And so they're trying to make back rent for a lot of things. There are some people who are still, they spend all of their money, that they may have had for like a January, slush fund for what happens in January. It is a little slower. You have weather events. Well, they had to spend that usually on overtime for employees, for people who are covering for others, for gas to be able to, kind of shuttle people around, extra expenditures and securities and all sorts of things. So they're kind of at a place where they're just, and then there was the idea that people just weren't going out because it was sort of just tough to then get beyond what everybody's sort of mental health was at that point. And so it's still kind of digging out. And we've had some great weather. Thank God we haven't had more than one major snowstorm, that kind of came and ruined stuff. But it is really a balance sheet issue. This isn't as much what's happening on the streets. This is really digging out of something that people are. And then, of course, food prices are high. And so there's all sorts of things that are factoring that we're just trying to belay a little bit of those costs, and trying to make sure that we can do a critical Band-Aid that hopefully can get them over the hump. When we get into patio season, that's usually the best time of year anyway.
No doubt. And then people are out and having fun, especially around Target Field. And, when you think if you're going to a Twins game, they have great food at Target Field. As we talk with Steph March, who is a longtime food editor at Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine. She's helped organize the Salt Cure Fund, which was and is a massive fundraising source that provides grants to restaurants and employees and people who are struggling and who are trying to get through the immigration surge. When you think about outside around Target Field, what are 3 or 4 spots where you're like, this would be a money spot to go to?
Well, I mean, so it's kind of like, for me, I'm a purist of the fact that I really like a little Fulton Brewery, which is within steps within the, it's right outside the stadium. I feel like you're even though you're sitting at Fulton, you're still in the game. There's just something about being that close to the ballpark that's kind of cool.
They have food now. They have a full kitchen firing again.
Listen, let me advocate for their mushroom Swiss burger. It's a very good burger. And that's kind of the idea that it's just, I like the neighborhood aspect. I want to walk to the ballpark. If I'm going to go park in North Loop, I'm going to walk to the ballpark. So, I mean, I'm a fan of, and like a bigger place like Freehouse even, just to have like, a gathering. But I'm a Cuzzies girl. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to get some tots and like a really strong 7-7 and then walk my way up to the field. That's a good idea. I'm not mad at that.
Bricksworth, I think, is another good one that's sort of new. They have good pizza, good wings, and good beer, and that's a walker.
Great
too.
wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of said also if you're looking for something new that you haven't been before and like on the quicker side, if you go to Cafe Yodo and get some really great udon, especially now when it's a little chillier, why wouldn't you go there, get a little soup, a little noodle soup to kind of make yourself feel better, and then head over. I mean, like, that's a great idea.
Stephanie March is with us. Steph, can I ask you a sort of random question? One of the top read stories this afternoon on the Star Tribune. And I like their new critic. I think he's doing a good job. But some of the stories he's written are sort of like old man yelling at clouds, which I feel like that's my territory.
That's kind of your lane, my friend.
What?
I don't understand. We don't, So what was the story? I missed it.
His first story was like, how come we're not getting French fries with our burgers anymore?
Oh, really?
Right. And now the one today is QR codes. What's the deal with QR codes? And I don't even feel like there are that many QR codes at Twin Cities restaurants anymore.
There's really not. I mean, like there might be at like breweries more than anything, but that's not the same as like restaurants.
It's
as
like
much.
Centro has QR ordering. And
Yeah.
the cardamom controversy was the news peg,
Right.
but there were like no examples in this story. I was just trying to think, like, what are we talking about? Like, this is not a thing.
It's not really, and it was actually, if anything, you'd want to compare. Obviously, it was very big during the pandemic because of just distancing and menus and then staffing and everything else. And then if you compare to what we were back then to what we are now, it's not a thing. It's not a big trend.
Now, he did post a picture of a place that I couldn't. It says, scan the QR code to order, or if you're going to be mad about it, just order at the bar. And I'm not, which is cute, but I'm not sure. I'm like, what restaurant is this? I'm like, I don't believe it. You guys should text in at 651-461-9226 if you know of QR code places that annoy you.
Like Alma, I think Cafe Alma was doing them. I'm not sure if they're still doing them or not. But can I be clear on something? Like, I'm not mad at them. So that makes me maybe a jerk, but like, I don't mind it. I don't mind them at all. And I think it's like sometimes it's just quick and easy to kind of get it done. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm mixed about I don't want my preference is to have great service, but like I'm not mad at it either.
I guess like the Animales thing is maybe
I
the
bet
big
it's
question.
Animales because he just reviewed
I bet it's
Animales.
Animales. Yeah. But I always feel like for that, like if you're doing something simple like like barbecue, like things that we know, like I don't need to have too many questions about barbecue. I know what it is.
Right.
So maybe I do love if I have questions to have a person, but they have lots of people running around who you ask questions and they have the answers. So
there you go.
That might be it.
There you go.
There it is.
All right. Very good. Steph, thank you so much. If people want to, you're still taking donations at thesaltcurefund.org.
Yep.
Very good.
.org, and we'll take, anything from 25 to 25,000. We'll take whatever you got.
Stephanie, thank you. 446. Let's break. Drive time here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Minnesota Pork, a proud sponsor. Well, I don't know. I think it's a proud sponsor. We should check in. There's some days that they're like, what are we doing? But Minnesota Pork, 3,000 family farmers, we're so glad for their support here of Drive Time with DeRusha. And I know you guys love your farmers. You love our hometowns all over Minnesota. You love that history of agriculture. That's such a key part of our state. And what I love is the flavor of Minnesota pork. And we are getting into barbecue season. You heard staff talk about Animales. Oh, my goodness. You want some barbecue pork, you get to Animales and right near downtown Minneapolis. Now, maybe you're barbecuing yourself. Go get that rack of ribs. Let's get going. How about a pork shoulder this weekend? Mother's Day coming up. What are you doing for mom? Why not Minnesota pork? Maybe it's just a regular weeknight dinner. You need inspiration? I got it for you. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com. Recipes, some longer, some shorter, some air fryer, some grill, some oven. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com. Check it out, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Hey, you! Yeah, I'm talking to you! We got a show and it's Guys and Dolls at Chanhassen and Dinner Theaters. It's terrific and delicious because you got dinner and a show. Don't take my word, everybody's loving it. The Pioneer Press called it a must-see. Star Tribune called it eye-popping and blazing with brilliance. I heard a lady from Eden Prairie say this is the best show she's ever seen at the Chan. Grab your doll or your guy. Get your family over here for Guys and Dolls. Visit ChanHassenDT.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't suffer through foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet store. The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to relieve pain and stress in the body with over 350 styles and sizes. Located in Maple Grove, Burnsville, Woodbury, and Roseville. Call 855-554-3338 or stop in for your complimentary fitting. In as little as 40 minutes, you could be walking out pain-free.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Guarantee cash offer is the way to go. Just call Chris Lindahl. He'll buy your house today. He'll help you get a fresh start right away. Just call Chris Lindahl with his arms so wide. He'll help you move on fast and keep things simplified. Just call Chris Lindahl. His program is the bomb. Apply for your offer at chrislindahl.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow for downtown Minneapolis. Traveling I-94, both directions, basically between Highway 280 and the Lowry Hill Tunnel. You can find the slowdowns place. East 94 is making way through St. Paul, making way between Dale Street, heading up toward Mounds Boulevard. Highway 36 eastbound, watching slowdowns there. It starts up at Cleveland Avenue, continues over to Edgerton. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you have trees to trim or need tree removal, call an ISA certified arborist. Call the CCO Land Company I use. B&M Tree Service, 1-800-569-9034. Or get on the web, bnmtree.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
What is happening on Channel 4? Right now, they're doing a poll. Should we do the same poll?
I can't see why we wouldn't.
All right. What Hogwarts house do you belong in? Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin? 651-461-9226. Tackling the tough issues.
That's what they do.
Ever since I left that place, it's gone straight in the dump. Just telling you. Weather forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy. I'm just kidding. A little. Partly cloudy, low at 36. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high of 54. Saturday, the House of Slytherin, the high will be 64. Right now, the temperature is Huffle 49 on CCO.
Your daily detour into sharper conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
The 150 hot dog and soda combo at the Costco food court represents one of the best fast food values in history.
It's not even close. It's not even close. Is there a more satisfying experience than the end of your Costco shopping moment, where for a mere $1.50, that hot dog is legitimately good? It's a legitimately good hot dog. And then you get a 20-ounce fountain soda for the first time in more than 4 decades. Costco has made a change. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I saw this headline yesterday, Dan, and I'm like, oh boy, like this
is going to be huge.
This is big.
I mean, not which Hogwarts house are you huge, but I mean, still pretty big.
I mean, the headlines, Costco quietly makes change to famous $1.50 combo. Costco changes $1.50 hot dog combo for the first time in over 40 years. And you read these headlines and you're like, oh my, what can they be doing? You can get a bottle of water now. If you don't want.
Instead of the soda?
Yeah, that's it. That's
the big change. Well, I mean, it's slightly healthier as you suck down a hot dog, you know, I mean.
The water will be a Kirkland signature 16.9 ounce.
So not even a full 20-ounce bottle.
Well, so are you a Costco guy? You're
It's going to shock you, but as a single male,
right.
No, I'm not a Costco.
It's not in your wheel. So Costco, when you leave, the other thing that I think people don't notice is they've got a vending machine with Kirkland signature water. Why the signature, by the way? I mean, isn't Kirkland enough? What are we doing with the signature? Oh, it's the fanciest of Kirklands. They have their lower quality Kirkland sort of, printed.
Unfiltered, gross, dirty
whatever,
water.
I don't know. Yeah, you don't want that stuff. The Kirkland signature, that's the magic. So, but you can get Kirkland water for like $0.25. It's pretty good, right?
It's not bad, yeah.
Because sometimes you're going around Costco, and I don't know about you, when you're shopping, you're just like, whoo, I'm parched. Oh, man. So because of frugality, don't you feel like you're getting a better value if you get a fountain Diet Coke versus a Kirkland signature bottle of water? I feel like I would go for the Diet Coke, just on value proposition. Now, water probably is about the same cost as
probably
a diet soda, but doesn't it feel different to you? I don't know. I know this is stupid. I know I'm being stupid. You're looking at me as if I'm.
Your feelings aren't stupid, Jason. You're entitled to feel however you feel.
Thank you. Thank you for honoring me. Speaking of which, we will talk about some Minneapolis people who are in the New York Times this afternoon that will give you honoring their feelings vibe.
Oh, all up in the fields?
We'll talk about that next hour. We're going to talk about big playoff night. Who do you think is more likely to win tonight? Is it the Minnesota Wild, the Minnesota Timberwolves, or neither, because we're Minnesota sports and we're probably going to screw this up? You get to pick one of those three.
Identical 3-2 series leads for both teams.
Tonight's a chance to close her out.
Close it out. Wolves have already blown one chance to close their series out.
So far, we have one text for Slytherin, one YouTube comment for Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Ravenclaw. That's the nerd house.
I did read some of these books.
Yeah.
And I've been to Harry Potter Land,
World,
something. And You could have a gun to my head, and I still would not know what the difference is between any of these.
Which makes you a Slytherin. So
sounds insulting, but I don't
people
really
who know, and it's fine.
You may be
It's
insulting me. You may not. I'm fine with that. Continental Diamond time check. It's 4:57. Oh, I was chatting today with my friends at Continental Diamond because we're going to be doing something fun for the University of Minnesota Children's Hospital fundraiser next week. Andy, and you should go see Andy. Great guy in their pre-owned watch selection. Maybe you're looking for a Speedmaster. Maybe you're looking for a Cartier. I think I might be wearing a Cartier. Ho. What house is that?
Definitely Slytherin.
That's the fancy. They got tons of pre-owned watches, so go check them out in St. Louis Park and ContinentalDiamond.com. Laura's got local news coming up.
There's nothing more beautiful than family and friends gathered for a meal around Borofka's Marshall dining set.
Ideal for eat-in kitchens and multi-purpose spaces.
A 44-inch table with 4 upholstered chairs is Craftsman direct priced from $71.12 or $297 a month for 24 months.
Marshall beautifies your space.
And your homely cousin.
Oh, Jim. Borofka's, no gimmicks, haggling, or hard-to-understand pricing.
In Woodbury, Burnsville, and Minnetonka. Decidedly beautiful.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means playing in a football game. Boom! 42! You're going down, Doug! Oh, yeah? Your price on car insurance when you customize and save is going down. Hey! Limu? What are you doing on their team? Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
They look hot. They drive like a dream. And the value, you've got to get to Luther Kia Bloomington. It's Jason DeRusha. I just brought my Kia in for service there. It was such a great experience. My Kia's as good as new. Dan Dingman and the Luther Kia Bloomington team, just the best. From the 35 miles per gallon hybrid Kia Telluride and Sorento SUVs to the under $30,000 K5 sedan. Check out your dream car today at LutherKiaBloomington.com. Or stop in and tell them Jason sent you.
Streaming live via the Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps. This is News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. 76 days after it started, the partial government shutdown is over. President Trump has signed a bill that funds most of Homeland Security. House Speaker Mike Johnson saying after today's passage of the measure,
this will relieve pressure from the Department of Homeland Security. Secretary Mullen, who I've spoken to in the last couple of hours, will be greatly relieved. The president will, the administration will. We were not going to have lines at TSA. Everybody will get their paychecks now. We'll get moving forward.
President Trump has also signed an executive order establishing retirement accounts for millions of qualified Americans. CBS's Linda Kenyon with details.
The president says he's making good on his pledge to give all Americans the same types of retirement accounts available to federal employees.
Beginning at the start of next year, every American will be able to go to TrumpIRA.gov and open a new low-cost IRA account.
Trump says the accounts will include federal matching funds.
Low-income Americans will be eligible to receive up to $1,000 per year.
These accounts will be available for those who earn less than $35,000 per year. It will take congressional approval to expand the program to people who earn more. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
For a second straight day, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth visits Capitol Hill to defend the Pentagon's record $1.5 trillion budget request, this time before the Senate Armed Services Committee. Secretary Hegseth and New York Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand disagree over whether Iran posed a threat to the U.S.
You don't care whether
when the American people and the American people are quite smart. They understand and see through spin. They know that a regime that says death to America, that seeks nuclear weapons and the ability to deliver. Did they lie about the range of their missiles?
The suspected gunman at Saturday's White House Correspondents' Dinner, Cole Allen, appears in a D.C. federal courtroom where his lawyers have agreed to not challenge his detention. CBS's Anna Schechter says his defense has many issues to address.
Was Googling the White House Correspondents' Dinner for the 3 weeks leading up to it and bought that train ticket to D.C. Prosecutors are going to say there's no other reason why he was there staying in that Hilton hotel except for to commit this attack.
Louisiana congressional primaries are suspended as a result of the Supreme Court's ruling over new House district maps. Olympic and World Cup champion Lindsey Vonn hopes to ski again after breaking her leg at the Winter Games in February, almost losing it. 8 surgeries later, she says she has no regrets about skiing at the Olympics a month after rupturing her ACL.
It was my decision. I got consulted by my doctor, my physical therapist, my coaches. I had all the opinions and they all said that I was good to go.
This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here? How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly cloudy, 51 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. The Trump administration announcing within the past hour it is deferring an additional $91 million in Medicaid funding to Minnesota. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz says it's due to fresh concerns about fraud in state-run social service programs that are funded by the federal government.
Now, this isn't about punishment. It's about partnership and accountability. We're offering Minnesota the support they need to fix these problems. But at the same time, we cannot and will not pay claims that don't meet federal standards.
The $91 million is on top of the withholding of $243 million in Medicaid funding announced in February. Governor Walz calls it part of the Trump administration's retribution campaign against Minnesota. A 24-hour prayer vigil taking place right now outside Hennepin County Medical Center as lawmakers in St. Paul debate what should be done to try to save the financially struggling Safety Net Hospital. Pastor Todd Leipert says federal cuts to Medicaid have pushed HCMC to the brink.
We can't imagine what it would be like if they closed in June. So many of our parishioners get care at HCMC, and we know it's critical for the state.
Hospital administrators say that if they don't get help from the state, they may be forced to take drastic measures as early as June. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey vetoing an ordinance passed by the city council to decriminalize drug paraphernalia in Minneapolis. The decision follows a narrow 7-6 city council vote in favor of the measure, which supporters argued would align Minneapolis with existing state laws and prioritize public health. Now the council must decide whether to attempt an override. With Nicollet Mall at a crossroads, WCCO's Taylor Rivera explores the city's potential plans to transition it from a retail hub to a residential downtown backyard. In this week's series, The Mall's Next Move.
Business owners along Nicollet Mall say more neighbors, not stores, may be the answer to the mall's future. This comes as downtown restaurants are working to overcome thin profit margins and the decline of the traditional office rush. Stakeholders like general manager of The Local, Brad Johnson, say they're looking to city officials for a reinvention of the corridor that moves beyond temporary fixes.
I know getting some of the funds and all that kind of stuff definitely helps in the short term, but it's really the long-term planning that most of us, I think, are hoping for, where it's like, all right, let's figure out how to turn it around city-wise.
He says the success of the corridor now depends on how upcoming city programming and infrastructure shifts. Along the mall, I'm Taylor Rivera. News Talk 830 WCCO.
The Minnesota Wild hit the ice in about an hour and a half for a pivotal Game 6 against the Dallas Stars, where a win would send them on to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. General Manager Bill Guerin telling WCCO's Chad Hartman they have made it this far thanks in large part to one of the team's leading scorers, Matt Boldy, whose Olympic experience gave him a big boost of confidence.
I think the Four Nations tournament in the Olympics and being around all those other star players, he's realized a couple things, what it takes to really be a star, how they operate, and that he has found out that he is just as good as those guys.
Across town, a little later tonight, the Timberwolves will try to put away the Denver Nuggets in round one of their playoff series. WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
135 east slow as you head into downtown St. Paul, making way past Wagon Wheel. Southbound's jammed up. You're coming out from Highway 36 all the way down to Highway 13. 94 slows both directions as you make way through Minneapolis between the Lower Hill Tunnel and Riverside. 394 eastbound's jammed up. It's coming in from Highway 100. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Another chilly night tonight as we fall back to 36. There are frost advisories for parts of the metro. The freeze warning across the river in western Wisconsin where temps could fall below 32. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high around 54. Nice temperature jump on Saturday, highs in the mid-60s with plenty of sunshine.
Mostly cloudy right now, 51 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
You see headlines all day. This is the place where it all gets put together into something that makes sense. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
Who do you got? Who is more likely to win tonight, the Wild or the Wolves? 651-461-9226, and I think it's the Wild. I got a secondary question for you, too.
Now shut up and drive.
But I want to give you a shot at the first one first. I got questions for you in the 5 o'clock hour. It's Drive Time. Jason here, Dan here. Glad to have you along with us tonight as well.
Now, why would you say it's the Wild? Is it simply because the Wolves are missing two of their starters? Is that
simply, yes?
Well, I mean,
yeah, that's
you could
why.
also, I mean, or is it a larger look at the two franchises and you're saying historic, if past is prologue?
Well, I've forced myself to pick one or the other. So
that helps.
Yeah.
The question.
So if the option is what do I really think is going to happen tonight, I think the unthinkable is going to happen.
You think they're both going to lose?
No, I was going to say I think they're both going to win.
Oh.
Which is sort of the unthinkable.
That would be the unthinkable, yeah.
Minnesota sports fan, right? Like, I guess that if you're a true Minnesota sports fan, the least likely outcome is what I'm suggesting I think will happen tonight. Now, you call me and tell me I'm full of it, or I'm a homer, or I'm just an idiot. 651-461-9226. But I do think that, so let's take the Wolves first.
Mm-hmm.
Highly unlikely that the chaotic first quarter that the Wolves played last night, because you had Io playing, you had sort of a different starting lineup with no Ant, no Dante, and it was turnover city. These guys, Chris Finch said, we're trying to do too much. They're trying to, feeling the weight of like, I got to carry the team, and they just kept turning the ball over. I think it is almost 0% chance that happens again tonight. Almost 0% chance. So I do think that the Wolves had pretty good success without Anthony Edwards when he was hurt a little earlier this season. And I think they'll get it together, and I think they'll close it out. And the home fans are going to be pretty shined up with an 8:30 p.m. start. They're going to be at O'Donovan's before the game.
Yeah, they are.
And I think they're going to be full-throated, ready to rock. Now, the Wild fans,
are you about to criticize the fans of your town, St. Paul?
No. But do the fans matter as much in hockey? Now, I know the Wild.
I don't know that they really matter.
In anything?
Not really.
Oh, weigh in on that. 651-461-9226. That is very interesting. I read a book about this. This was like what is this book called now? It's the dude who was like, you got to practice 10,000 hours.
Oh, Malcolm Gladwell.
Malcolm Gladwell. There was a corollary to that book, not done by Gladwell, but it was about sports. And you would love this because it got into the data and the math on a lot of like conventional wisdom. And one of the things that it talked about was home field or court advantage. And despite the marketing, like the Wild, don't they have a jersey hanging in Grand Casino Arena
for the fans?
18,001 is like the number, something like that. The data on home advantage has much more to do with your influence on the referees. So that because these guys who are playing these games and now these gals, that we have the WNBA and we have professional hockey and all of that, but they're professionals.
Yeah.
And so
that's why I think it doesn't really make that big a difference.
Doesn't really matter.
No.
They'll say it matters.
Sure.
Maybe they make, I don't know. What are you going to say? Wouldn't it be something if these athletes after the game were like, I gotta be honest,
fans didn't bring it.
I didn't try that hard because you guys weren't cheering that hard. It's really in your hands. I don't know.
That would be something if somebody said that.
Now the Twins are on tonight too. Maybe now Texter says no mention of the Twins. And I would say what a classic Twins fan sort of baby ass message. What are the Twins all of a sudden Minnesota United? Are they the Frost? What about us?
Well, Lynx fans are classic at that.
God, which fan base is the biggest baby? 651-461-9226. No mention of the Twins because
yet pregame coming up at 6:00. We will talk a little Twins.
It's the 30th of April. The team is floundering. Tonight is not a chance to close out round one of the playoffs. That's why. Texter says Minnesota sports could go 3-0 tonight. And Andrew on YouTube says everyone's going to lose tonight. I think that everybody's going to win tonight. I can't speak for the Twins. I think the Twins starting pitching is going to be great, and then the bullpen's going to mess it up.
Bailey Ober gets to start for the Twins tonight.
Yeah. So.
He had some poor luck in his last he pitched well in his last outing, and then poor luck was the bullpen sort of gacked it up at the end.
So here are the Vegas odds for tonight. The Vegas odds are that Denver is a 6.5-point favorite. And I get it. If you live all around the country, you're like, no, Ant, forget it. But I feel like I've seen enough from Denver this series that I don't think they're the Denver Nuggets of old. And I think the Wolves are going to pull it out. I think the Wild. So what do I really think is going to happen, or what am I going to say when you force me to pick a side?
Well, let's just say this. The counter to your argument about the Timberwolves is you remember that Denver was hotter than a pistol coming into this series. They'd won 12 in a row.
Yeah.
Minnesota's without two of their starters. They've had nights where the defense just hasn't been connected at all over the course of this season, more times than anybody can count. And now you take two of the key cogs out of the wheel.
Oh, yeah.
The wheel's allowed to come off a little bit. And I think you saw that in the previous game. And it's entirely plausible to think that would carry forward into a game 6.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't rule it out.
The Wild now, takes the 3-2 lead. They've won 2 in a row in the series. They have dominated the Stars 5-on-5. The only time the Stars get any joy is on the power play.
The Wild have been terrible on the power play.
And if the Wild can can be disciplined and stay out of the box, I think they have an excellent chance to close that out at home tonight.
YouTube commenters saying Wolves have won their last game of the season. Wild are going to the Cup Finals and will stay in contention long after the Twins are eliminated.
Yeah.
Well, for how long the Stanley Cup Finals go on, that is certainly a possibility.
I don't think it's a mathematical possibility, but I can't 100% rule it out.
It's certainly an emotional possibility.
Well, it's an emotional possibility without question.
All right, let's break. 651-461-9226. It's a smorgasbord of topics that you can weigh in on. Number one, who's more likely to win? Wild or Wolves? Number two, If I had this is the question I teased, but I didn't say. My secondary question. If I had free tickets for you,
which we don't.
Thank you for clarifying. If I have free tickets for you guys, one pair of tickets on the glass, center ice, Grand Casino Arena, 6:30 start. One pair of tickets, courtside. We call them the DeRusha seats at Target Center. Which pair of free tickets are you taking? 651-461-9226. Drive Time back on this Thursday in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on News Talk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
Talking construction law today with Blake Nelson, an attorney from Helmuth & Johnson. Blake, why is having the right legal support so important?
One delay, one payment issue, or one contract mistake can put an entire project at risk and be the difference between making and losing money. In Minnesota, contract terms, timing, and documentation matter.
How does Helmuth & Johnson help?
We help contractors, subcontractors, and property owners protect their rights, get paid, and keep projects moving.
Learn more at hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side, for all your construction law needs.
You came for weight loss, but what you really wanted was to feel like you again. At Livia, it's not just about the scale. It's about energy, balance, clarity, and confidence. Visit Livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA to get started today.
Carpal tunnel syndrome. Heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha
I think it's absolutely flawless. Whoever's idea was that is a genius.
on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Yeah, I love this environment. Everyone hate me. All the hate's coming towards me. I love it. I mean, I don't care. I feed into it. Like I said earlier, it just brings the best out of me, and we just end up losing today, but we're gonna win the next one.
Jaden's going to get a lot of love at Target Center tonight, 8:30 start. This is fun stuff, right? It's fun when you have teams that are relevant, that are still in it. I love it. I love it. Earlier this week, I was watching the Wild at Tom Reed's hockey pub in St. Paul, which I can walk to, which is kind of cool. At Tom Reed's, they have 2-for-1s during away games, which is, by the looks of things, in Tom Reed's, dangerous. And so Alyssa ordered gin and tonic. I ordered Jack and Coke. And we got the bill, and it was $15 for 4 drinks. And I said to the server,
I mean, that's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, I said to the server, I'm like, this is not enough. And she was like, you're the second table that said that to me tonight. I'm like, $15 is not enough. Like, so I had to give her a bigger tip. You're like, this is ridiculous. $15 for 4 drinks. Now, it was probably 90% tonic. I don't know. We did have to send 1 drink back. I know. My expectations for a gin and tonic in a 2-for-1 environment, I'm not looking for an artisanal situation.
No, you're probably not setting that bar.
But like
high.
an anti-rancid situation, that's all.
I think that's fair.
1 was good, 1 was not. Maybe that's why they do 2-for-1s. We'll see what happens. Let's have some fun. Which free tickets are you taking? Texters coming in at 651-461-9226. Do you want to sit on the glass at the Wild game starting in an hour? Or do you want to sit courtside at a Timberwolves game? Now, Dan, you've been in both scenarios. Which would you pick?
I've been in neither of those two scenarios. No,
What?
I've never been on the glass for a Wild game. I've been down on the glass for a Wild scrimmage during a preseason. And it is phenomenal just watching guys skate around at that level.
That close, that speed, that precision.
But I mean, if you have the chance for a player to wind up in your lap, that's kind of a different scenario altogether. So
yeah,
I'm probably taking the courtside seats.
If you had to pick a Timberwolves player to end up in your lap, this sounds like a trap and you don't want to walk into it. I'm proud of you. Texters say Wild would be the pick because squeaky shoes suck.
I mean, that's a reason.
It is. I mean,
that's a reason.
I try to think, like, it has been a minute since I've sat courtside. I don't think I sat courtside this year.
Just giving plenty of room for Brad to edit that.
I mean, don't you feel badly
It's
for
been
me?
a minute since I've been courtside.
Yeah.
Probably should rectify that situation.
Should call my accountant and get that worked out. I'm not sure. Like,
now, this is a classic Minnesota
the squeaky
sports thing.
shoes are the main sound.
Well.
It's mostly like players yelling at each other and yelling at the ref.
Perhaps using language that you don't approve of.
Not appropriate.
This is a classic Minnesota reaction. Chance of the sports teams going 3-0 is the same odds of Trump appearing on Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, you don't know. It could happen.
It could happen. Emily on YouTube, where we stream live at youtube.com/WCCO radio, said she would like Jaden to land on her lap. Jaden's girlfriend might have something to say about that,
don't know.
Emily.
I don't know.
Which, by the way, Jaden's girlfriend. I do think the WAG thing is so interesting, the wife and girlfriend of athletes. Are you familiar? Do you
I'm
follow
familiar with the term.
Do you follow any of the WAGs
No.
on social media? Why
No,
not?
zero interest whatsoever.
You're not interested in?
No.
Huh.
Not why I follow sports.
Well, it's not why I follow sports either, but it's entertaining. So this gal, she gave away like 4 tickets. I think she had 4 extra tickets to
That's nice
tonight's
of her.
game and gave
Yeah.
them away to people on Twitter.
There you go. It's great.
It was very nice.
Yeah. Still not going to follow. Texter says, Dan Rudy from the T-Wolves in your lap. No.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to go, if you want the story, go big or go home.
It's very.
Bring me Rudy.
Did you say go Bear or go home?
No, I didn't, but that would have been a better line.
Rudy, I have a picture of me standing next to Rudy. He has a brandy line because he's French. So the French guy
Of course he does.
Has a brandy. And so they invited the food guy to come to the thing, which was just funny. Like, here's Rudy Gobert and a bunch of like Twin Cities food critics or like food Instagrammers or whatever. Just a weird night. That was a weird night. But me next to Rudy, I look like a midget.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, little person. Am I canceled now? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I'm taking over the show.
Oh, man. I knew I was going to say something on this show that was going to get me.
I mean, you got, 2.5 hours in, so that's a good run.
Didn't think it was going to be that. Wild tickets. Another texter says I'd take the 2 tickets behind home plate.
Now, if that was in the mix,
yep,
then I'm changing my answer.
So do I sound like a tool by saying I've been in all of these scenarios?
I don't know if tool is the adjective I would go with.
Or do you expect this from me? Or do you want this? Do you want Jason DeRusha to have that kind of experience? Because you know I would appreciate it. I don't expect it. I'm grateful for it.
Now that's a little toolish. Now you sort of went toolish.
Too far?
Yeah, a little bit.
Stacy on Facebook says, on the glass, baby. Never been. And as a huge hockey fan, would love to.
I mean, you can't go wrong with any of them.
I will say that courtside is a singular sports experience.
That's what I'm thinking. That's why I picked it.
Because you can hear the players, because they're not wearing helmets, so you can see everything, and you still can see the game. When you're on the glass, the only negative on the glass is it's difficult to see plays develop, and you can easily get blocked by someone.
Yeah.
That said, like seeing 2 hockey players at full speed come slamming into the boards right in front of you. It is, I don't know if people who I've only been there once. If people who sit there regularly get used to it, because to me, it scared the crap out of me. They come flying into this thing and you think you're like, my God,
And it didn't help that you had your drink on the ledge there and it spilled all in your lap. And then, that was not good.
That's pretty good. We're going to break. I have a couple of topics I want to talk about next. Is technology making our lives better or worse? That's one of them. And then 2 breaking news stories this afternoon that I want to talk about with a couple of vetoes coming from the mayor of Minneapolis. So we'll get into all of that. Lots of stuff going on. We keep you up to date with real-time reaction. Yours is welcome as well here on Drive Time with DeRusha.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Apple was the top smartphone seller in the world in the first quarter. Counterpoint Research reports that global iPhone shipments were up 5% compared to the year-ago quarter, with Apple grabbing 21% of the global smartphone market. Samsung came in second place with a 20% market share, although its shipments were down 6%, with the top 5 rounded out by Xiaomi, Oppo, and Vivo.
You got it, Mark. You got it right. We're flaunting it here. This is just for the off-air conversation. When you come to the stream, you get a little treat. And then Mark with the perfect Minnesota reaction. And I'm not going to rule it out. I'm trying to protect myself.
It's plausible.
All right, let me come back to the thing.
That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
All right, ProTurf wants to help you out in your backyard. And I talk all the time about the fact they'll come out to your yard and turn on your irrigation system and fully inspect it. Fixing leaks, fixing problems. That is money well spent. It's Jason here for ProTurf. Because you're not wasting water all spring, all summer. And you're not wasting money because you've seen those water bills that show up at the end of summer. That is for sure. Now, ProTurf will protect your lawn from weeds. They'll fertilize with liquid and granular. And the ProTurf difference is that they're not just going to use a Google map and estimate your yard and whatever. They're coming out. They're talking to you. They're going to discuss your needs, your goals, and design a solution just for you. They've been doing it for 40 plus years. They're in Lakeville. Why have they lasted so long? Integrity, responsibility, responsiveness, and a fair price. Now let's talk about landscaping because ProTurf is the best. Certified Minnesota Nursery Landscape Association landscape designers. That's part of the magic when you reach out to ProTurf. So do you have overgrown bushes or shrubs or trees? Do you need a new paver patio or a fire pit? Go to ProTurf. Right now, the best way to reach them is through their website, professionalturf.com. You can click for a free estimate right on the homepage. Get to professionalturf.com today.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a super fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. But wait, there's more. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be switching to an American wireless company that's committed to keeping 100% of its customer service in this country. I appreciate that. In fact, that's why I switched. I also appreciate the way they support our vets and our skilled workforce. Dial pound 250, say micro, and get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. That's pound 250 micro. Stop paying twice what you need to pay for the service you want and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Make Cinco de Mayo delicious with Easy Cater, the easiest way to order food from favorite restaurants for all your celebrations. From April 27th through May 5th, every order placed earns you 1,000 bonus rewards points. Whether you're looking for traditional favorites like tacos and tortas, festive options like a build your own nacho bar, or hosting a breakfast fiesta with huevos rancheros and breakfast burritos, Easy Cater makes food for Cinco de Mayo a cinch. Order now at easycater.com with promo code Cinco de Mayo 26. Restrictions apply. See offer details.
Join Ducks Unlimited for the 51st Annual Stillwater Area Dinner Banquet, an evening of great food, community, and conservation. Thursday, May 7th at 5:30 p.m. at the St. Croix Event Center in Stillwater. Get your tickets today. Register now at mndu.org.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Watching the slowdowns of travel southbound 35E Highway 36 as you head down toward Maryland Avenue. Northbound, a little bit of congestion in play Maryland Avenue as you head toward Wheelock Parkway. 694 is jammed up both directions between Lexington and 252. West 94 is heavy between Hemlock and Weaver Lake Road. And then again, as you make way past Brockton Lane up to Highway 101. Update is brought to you by Linda's Construction, lindasconstruction.com. Protect your home before spring storms arrive. Choose GAF asphalt shingles and receive free installation labor this April. Go to lindasconstruction.com. Terry Peterson, New Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn McCreevy invites you to a free seminar for pre-planning your funeral and cremation services to help protect your family in the future. Enjoy food visit with speakers from the Crystal Lake Chapel Thursday, May 7th, 11:30 a.m. at Pub 42 New Hope. Information at washburnmccreevy.com or 612-377-7841.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Washburn McCreevy Funeral Cremation Pre-Planning Services bring us Chris Schaefer.
We're stuck in this cool rut. Partly cloudy, falling back to 36 tonight. Parts of the metro in the frost advisory, the freeze warning off to the east. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high around 54. Very similar pattern. Finally, starting to warm this weekend. Sunshine 64 on Saturday, even warmer on Sunday.
First pitch for the Twins, it's going to be about 49 degrees. By the time you're leaving the ballpark, it'll be about 45 right here on CCO.
Where curiosity hits the gas. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Dallas ISD reports more than 200,000 additional book checkouts compared to last year. And that's as of March 31st. Dallas ISD says the big difference this school year, a statewide cell phone ban for public schools.
Technology is making us dumber. I think in most ways. That was CBS News in Dallas reporting on the fact that when the schools in Dallas took away cell phones, 1 year into a statewide cell phone ban, Dallas school districts are saying that they've seen a huge increase in library book checkouts. Huge increase. Total checkouts. So in 2024 to 2025, there were 872,000 books checked out, which still, to be frank, like that's a lot of books, right? But kids in school, you got to check out a dang book. Like that's part of school. I'm glad that like they still have to check out. I worked in my school library. I'm glad they still. Are you surprised that I worked at the school library? Nope. Terrace Elementary School. I also ran the school's election.
Also not a surprise.
In Illinois, we had our election for the state fish.
How many people in that election system were now in jail? I mean, it's Illinois, so it's part of the bit, right?
I think actually the fish that was elected the state fish has been indicted.
When to the Huskow?
Charges. Took away the cell phones. The number of library books checked out went to 1,084,000.
It's a bit of an increase.
Almost a 25% increase. 200,000 more books checked out. And I was thinking about this in terms of my life. And I wonder how you guys feel about this. Objectively, we can find individual examples where technology is amazing. I mean, I have 25 web tabs open right now, and you just played a clip from a story that you found because of the internet.
Yes.
Many good things about technology. If you put the good and you put the bad and you put it all in the soup, is technology making our lives better or worse? 651-461-9226.
I used to always argue that I thought technology is morally neutral, that technology doesn't have the ability in and of itself to make life better or worse. It's what we choose to do with it. Having said that, what I don't know that I accounted for was the effect of technology on kids. Because you can't hold a kid responsible for making intelligent, morally positive choices because they're kids.
Right.
And their brains aren't fully developed yet. But technology is so ubiquitous in their lives. And I know you had that book, and I keep meaning to read it, and I haven't yet. But the impact of technology on kids in terms of anxiety rates. And obviously, we've seen suicide rates go up. And we've seen all kinds of things where technology has had a seriously negative impact on the life of kids, to where I think you're going to see more and more stories like this where institutions roll back the use of technology and you see positive outcomes from doing that.
Yeah, every millennial parent out there has read The Anxious Generation, which talks about a phenomenon that is not just American. And so this, to me, is a good piece of evidence where you say, like, all right, in America, you can blame, our political divisions. You can blame school shootings providing anxiety. You can blame, there are a lot of things that you could blame. But what Jonathan Haidt found was across cultures, you see a difference, not at the introduction of the cell phone, but at the introduction of social media sites that have the sort of Pavlovian need for notifications. So the likes, especially the like button. If you were to find one single thing that has been a negative influence on America and the world, it might be the like button.
Yeah.
Now, something else, you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
But if you never had that button, would that be different?
It's the constant seeking of affirmation. I've posted something. How many people have watched it?
The comparing.
How many people have liked it?
It's all stuff we always have done, but we just have it at a scale.
This puts it on steroids.
That's right.
And it's, again, so much of it is targeted to kids. They just don't have a shot at trying to make good decisions with this stuff.
I'm a kitchen manager, and half my time is sitting in front of a computer. Seriously, I can't imagine what we did 3 decades ago.
I've said that all the time, even in my job as a producer. How producers did this job prior to the advent of the internet, I can't even honestly conceive of how that would be done or how difficult that would have to be.
Where I find myself today is questioning whether all of the information that we have access to is actually, doesn't even matter. Would your life be just as fulfilling if you didn't know any of this stuff?
Would it be more fulfilling if you weren't constantly feeling less than because you have access to the sum total of human knowledge and you just still don't know stuff?
I'm thinking this kitchen manager probably would be running a hell of a kitchen, just like he or she is right now.
We've also talked about this plenty of times that we are, with the cell phones and internet connectivity, we are more connected to everybody else on the planet than we've ever been in our lives. And yet human beings feel more disconnected to other people than they ever have in their life. We have the loneliness epidemic and the anxiety problems and so on and so forth.
And some of that shows up in a callousness that is my exhibit 2.
Yes.
And this is the rash of people who have been fired over the last couple of days for absolutely crazy reactions to the White House Correspondent Association's to the assassination attempt. Teachers losing their jobs. Here in the Twin Cities, there was a United Health Group employee
who I believe managed their social media, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, she was one of their social media managers who uploaded a video where she is sort of going on and on and on, saying that it's too bad that, when they first heard the news, it's too bad that the person didn't shoot Trump. And I go back and forth. I do think I do think there is some good in the fact that if you used to feel isolated, you can feel connected. There are people like you, no matter what you are, all around the world. And I think in some ways we've made the world, for some, we've made them feel more connected.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's happening for most is the opposite, that we convince ourselves that because we saw people talking at the camera and flip through TikTok or Instagram, and then we don't need to actually talk to real people. And you can have like crazy, rude, obnoxious, antisocial opinions that you think are normal because you surround yourself with people who say that.
I think that's absolutely a part of it, that there's the digital connection versus actual human connection. That's a problem. That's broken. I think also, you can go find the people that think the same kind of crazy stuff that you think, and then that becomes normalized, and then it becomes the only thing that you hear.
Yeah.
We silo ourselves, right?
Yeah.
We don't have the diversity of opinion. We don't have relationships with people because if you don't agree with my political opinion, I can't know you anymore. And we divide ourselves that way in ways that we never divided ourselves before.
We're going to break in a minute. A couple of vetoes by the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey. One veto I think is good. One veto I don't really understand. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
All right, you're leaving your house. You've got a very big first date coming up. Do you have the outfit that matches your personality? Do you have the confidence that you want on that special night on the town, on that restaurant you're taking that first date to that you heard about on DeRusha Eats, and you're like, I really feel a connection with this one? Get to J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. It's Jason here. J.H. & Sons, they sort of are on the map because of their men's tailoring, and heck, why not? Like, what's wrong with putting on a suit and going out for a date? That's how they got on the map. More than 5 decades of making men look great all throughout Minnesota. The Halberstadt family, that's what the H is. You may know them from St. Cloud. Jeff Halberstadt and his sons are running an unbelievable store at Edina at the Galleria. But they've also got incredible casual clothing. And right now, I just am loving all of the sweater polos and all of the linen that is available. You don't have to look stuffy to look polished. You don't have to be wearing a suit and tie to look put together and have that extra dose of confidence. jhandsons.com is the website. You can check it out, but go to the store. Say hi to the people. Tell them you hear it on Drive Time with DeRusha. That is JH and Sons.
They don't just read headlines, they tell you why they matter.
Such a false argument from some of the Democratic socialists that if you're against the bathhouse idea, that you have hatred towards LGBTQ individuals.
They don't just react to the news, they shape the conversation around it.
The poll has this, the poll has that. At what particular point in the season do you get off of that and you rally behind a team?
Challenging. Real.
Wisconsin has it right, and Minnesota needs to get off the pot when it comes to sports gambling.
Minnesota's radio station. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Dave Lee with some fantastic news. The Aquarius Home Services and Connecticut Customer Appreciation Open House is happening May 1st through the 3rd. Save up to 30% on Connecticut water systems. Water filters, 20% off. Heating and cooling systems up to 30% off. Plus savings on generators, water heaters, and more. Be sure to bring a water sample for a free water test. Savings, food, and fun for everyone. It's all happening May 1st through the 3rd in Little Canada at 694 and 35E. Details at AquariusHomeservices.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants. In the U.S., hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
For years, Gone South has been a podcast about crime in the American South. But for our new season, we're widening the lens. Through deeply reported, narrative-driven stories, we're digging into the myths, scandals, and power structures that still shape the South, and, in a lot of ways, the country itself. Follow and listen to Gone South Season 5, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slow down still in place for crosstown both directions between Cedar Avenue and Gleason. Traveling north 169, that's heavy edge, moving between Highway 62 and 394. East 394 to Minneapolis, that's a slow ride coming in from Park Place Boulevard. Sherry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
We got a show and it's guys and dolls at Chin Heads and Dinner Theaters, and it's a knockout. The Pioneer Press called it a must-see. Star Tribune called it blazing with brilliance. You got gamblers, romance, and show-stopping tunes. Guys and dolls, visit chinheadsandDP.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Guys and dolls on stage right now. ChanhassenDT.com. Tonight, 36, partly cloudy is the low. So we do have that frost advisory for parts of the metro and a freeze warning in Scotty, where temps could fall to 30 or colder. Tomorrow, 54. Saturday for Derby Day, 64. Mostly sunny. Sounds very nice. Right now it is, what do we got? 50 degrees? 50 degrees. It's too cold. It's sunny at least on C2.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
He's known for the slow burn. He wanted to keep it organic, and I'm still begging for it. More controversy.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
And if you think Minneapolis is fun during the day, wait until you see it at night.
Well, I guess you could have drug pair. Oh, no, you can't. It was close. City Council wanted to give people access, at least decriminalizing. I don't know. I'm totally incorrectly stating this. I was so distracted by the Jacob Fry jogging through Minneapolis video clip that you played, the audio from that, Dan. 2 vetoes today from the mayor. One I agree with. One, I don't know, man. Let's take the one that I don't know about first. I have criticized the Minneapolis City Council for dealing with what I would consider to be second or third tier issues instead of dealing on the real issues that I think affect Minneapolis. How are we going to grow the city? How are we going to get more businesses to come here? How are we going to create more wealth for the residents who live here? How are we shifting the fact from where our values of downtown skyscrapers have gone in the toilet? How are we dealing with the fact that regular people are going to have to pick up more of the property tax burden? So all of these things, I think, are the A issues. Decriminalizing drug paraphernalia, to a certain degree, you're like, are our cops really, like, is this what they're dealing with? Is there any evidence that this is their major issue? I don't think so. I don't think so. So I'm not on board with the urgency of decriminalizing possession of drug paraphernalia. That said, I mean, they did it, right? Like, they did it. The city council did it. They passed it. Why are we vetoing it other than to say this is a bad use of our time? I don't think the mayor has expressed any real disagreement with sort of the theory of decriminalizing. And the theory of decriminalizing is to say, look, we don't want to lock somebody up for having, having a pipe or having a needle. Now, if you are using in public, you are breaking the law. There are avenues that police have. So decriminalizing, it's not legalizing it, but it's saying this is not going to be a crime anymore. And the advocates say, look, if you criminalize it, people are more likely to just throw their needles around. Or if a cop comes, they just toss their needle. Now, I would say, to me, this is a C-level issue in terms of urgency of the city. But once the city council passes it, what is the point of vetoing it other than to say, you guys are a pain in the butt to me, and so I'm shoving it back at you? I don't really understand why you would veto that. At the same time, the mayor vetoed the second effort to extend the pre-eviction notice. So I think at this point, it's almost May. If you can't pay your rent because of the Operation Metro surge, which largely winded down before Valentine's Day, you got to get your crap together. Like, I just think at this point, you're going to give people 45 days instead of 30 days notice. Come on.
Well, and the mayor's explained this
I think
before.
the mayor's right.
I think he is too. And this gets painted by the folks on the left as heartless and unfeeling, and why aren't you helping these poor people that had this thing happen to them? And as the mayor has clearly explained, because we've tried that in the past and it doesn't work.
Tried it with COVID.
It just gets people into a deeper hole. It negatively affects landlords. That let's give these people some actual help. Let's give them some money with which they can pay that rent and get themselves back on their feet and keep landlords whole. It's just that everybody does better when everybody does better is supposedly the great liberal motto, but it doesn't seem to be working terribly well in Minneapolis with this.
We're going to have to wait tomorrow to talk about the Minneapolis couple in the New York Times.
Oh, my.
It's real good. It's real good. We are going to bring you up to Twins baseball.
Yep. Pregame starts at 6:00.
Should be a good one. Bailey Ober struggled last time on the mound, but there's some bad luck.
Yeah, he was okay. It was the pitching that came after him that was.
But he's been
problem.
throwing the ball pretty good, so it should be a nice one to watch. Hey, go watch the Twins at 6:40 first pitch. Listen to pregame here. Then go over catch. You could probably get to the Twins and the Wolves.
Be able to do the doubleheader.
Expensive ticket, though. We were looking at tickets.
And Toronto's in town. Last year's AL champs.
Super fun.
And lots of Canadians like to come down for the Toronto series, so that makes a really fun environment at Target Field. It'll be a good night for a ball game.
Continental Diamond time check is 5:57. It's time to get a awesome new pre-owned watch. How about graduation? How about Father's Day? How about ContinentalDiamond.com? Or go visit their shop in St. Louis Park. Dan and I will talk to you tomorrow. Let's go 3-0 tonight, Minnesota.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying.